And we have transitioned from the TikTok live to the Twitch live. How are y'all doing, chat? How are y'all doing? How are y'all doing, chat? How are y'all doing? How are y'all doing? He said, damn, niggas got hit with some abs. Sub up, brother. You gotta sub up, brother. But look, though. Man, look, I'm glad to be back, man. It's been a minute. Been a little minute. Just got done with the TikTok live. I need to figure out how to integrate, you know, the TikTok and the Twitch, you know. Steezy K, what's going on? Steezy K. Shout out to Steezy K, man. You at work, ain't you? I know you at work. I know you at work. But yeah, though. I gotta figure out how to integrate the TikTok live and the Twitch, you know, together. I gotta figure out how to do that. Not yet. Oh, so you getting ready, huh? You getting ready for it. You getting ready to go to work. Yeah. But pretty good. I'm back to feeling like me again. That's what's up, brother. Come on, man. That's what's up, brother. That's what's up, brother. I'm glad you're feeling like you again, man. I appreciate the help from last weekend. You know what I'm saying? It was a pretty nice weekend. Unfortunately, stream dropped. You know, I don't know if you guys seen, but I was live streaming a drift event in Xenia, Ohio. So go back, go check that out. It kept dropping, so it's like a bunch of little clips or whatever. So but that was pretty fun. I'm glad that I got to, you know, experience that with my boys. And yeah, I need to go back and like get clips and edit them and post them on my social medias. But yeah, chat, a lot has been going on since I've been gone. Chat, a lot has been going on. I actually will be dropping a video today around like 3:30. We're dropping a video. We're dropping a YouTube video, chat. So, I know y'all see down here at the bottom of the screen, True Aaron. Go subscribe, all right? Go subscribe and stay tuned for that video, all right? I'm not going to tell y'all what's in it, but yeah, go ahead and subscribe. But hold on. Actually, I'm going to pull up the little preview right quick because I want to show y'all that. Hold on. Let me go find it right quick. It's in videos. It's in captures. Nah, I don't think it's on this. That's horrible. I don't think I can. Hold on, wait. I think I can go to email. Hold on, let me go to my email because I want to pull up the little promotional thing that I did. Hopefully I can find it. Blah 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 blah. Subject. Come on. Scanning for viruses. Just download it. Is this it? This is it. This is it. Alright, bet. I'm about to freaking. Hold on. Main scene. Change this. We gotta change this. There we go. Alright. So look, chat. This is my little promotional vid that I'm gonna post on my social medias, alright? A little bit of an update on, you know, what's been going on. Hear it. Now I gotta restart it. Yeah, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I have a few things to share and kind of a little bit of an update on, you know, what's been going on in my life. It's been a minute since I've seen y'all, so some things have been changing since, you know, the last, you know, shop video I did. So yeah, chat. Yeah, oh yeah, come on now. Got us a little promotional vid that I'm gonna post on the social medias. I'll be posting that after the Twitch live today. But I don't know if y'all seen. I'm pretty sure y'all seen by the title. We are going to be reacting to Formula Drift Weekend. All right, Formula Drift Weekend happened last weekend, and some crazy stuff has been happening. And it happened in New Jersey. It has been raining. It was a tornado. Cars got destroyed. Dog, hella official. Appreciate you, brother. WNet in the chat. Hold on, wait. I need another boom. I need a different style boom so I can, you know, get y'all intros. But what's going on, Nen? W freaking Moz. W Moz in the chat. W Moz in the chat. I wonder if Joaquin in here. Is Joaquin in here? Joaquin said he was gonna be in here. But yeah, nah. Stuff has been they have been going through a lot in the last weekend. It's like a lot of money has been spent, a lot of stuff got destroyed, but they ended up getting Taco Bell boom is crazy. Taco Bell boom is crazy. But yeah, no, like, and I wonder if we're gonna see it in this live, because I think they might have shut the live down, or they must have. I think they already was done with the event or whatever. But like the storm got bad. Hopefully we can see some clips, but we gonna get straight into it for real, for real. There's not really much else to talk about. I mean, other than, I got the video, I'll be recording another video, and I'm planning some IRL stuff too. All right, planning some IRL stuff. Now, with the IRL stuff, I gotta figure out, good locations to do it, because at the drift event, it was a dead zone, so like I had to, like it just kept dropping. So I think maybe if I live streamed on my phone, it probably would have, stayed, it probably would have stayed consistent. But we'll do some tinkering with that, because if I got to get a streaming phone, then I might just get a streaming phone. But if I don't have to, and like I can use this camera, because I really like this camera, but we'll figure it out. But ain't really nothing else to talk about for real. We're gonna get straight into it. You know what I'm saying? But how have y'all been? How, like, to the people that's in here that haven't, interacted yet, how are y'all feeling? How do y'all feel? How was y'all Tuesday morning going? And we're gonna be doing a lot of skipping through, because chilling like a villain, that's real. How the audio sound? Is it too loud? Is the audio too loud? Is the audio too loud? How the audio sound?
We've been holding Power You Make for 30 years.
Good. All right,
but here's the real question. How much torque?
Yeah, no, we're skipping through a lot of this. Like all them ads and stuff, we skipping straight through them.
So if you're just catching up, we had insane weather, so much to have to push this pro seating bracket to this morning. So that's why we are now up earlier than we anticipated. But called
audible, so they pushed it.
Omaha,
so they pushed it to
New
the
Jersey.
morning.
Here we are,
do it like,
back
later
at it like a track
afternoon.
addict. The Crazy 8 has delivered once again in
like
grand
I'm
fashion.
talking like
so pro seating bracket
trees was
going
falling
down.
on cars,
Again,
like
crazy
cars
weather
were
yesterday,
flipped,
up
like
to
it
80
was
mile per
crazy
hour
out
winds.
there.
Leaving the track yesterday, trees were down. This was, again, for the most part, everybody came out unscathed. Heard a fan maybe caught something.
What is this? Wait. What is this? What is this, chat? Have y'all seen this before? What is this? What is this? What is this vehicle? Dude, it looked like you could shoot somebody with a ray beam with this. Like what is this? Billy Goat? The Billy Goat fan incinerator? What is this? What is this?
To the face, but I heard they're okay.
What is
for
that?
the most part, everybody's okay. Jacob, how are you?
Yo, he's scooting on that. I can't even fake. I'm trying to get like that.
I'm all good. I mean, we were
Yeah.
up here in the tower, and for me, I started looking at the storm coming in. I went, I'm going to get away from the big glass
Shout
windows.
out to the media people.
I'm going to
Hell
go
no,
kind
no,
of,
for real.
move out of the way from that and check out what was going on. But yeah, just very happy that everyone's all right. As you said,
was
the
a lot of car
camaraderie
stuff that
around
went
Jeff
on,
Jones's
like,
car,
last
seeing
weekend. I'm
everybody
happy.
kind of get
I
back
needed
into
my
it.
car
Kevin Wells was
therapy,
even
I'm
there
not
to
gonna lie.
oversee it. Be like,
Yeah.
if we're going to fix this, we're going to do it right. We're going to do
What's
it by the
going
rule book.
on,
I
yo?
think Kevin was pretty stoked to get his
Dante,
hands
what's going
dirty
on,
again,
brother?
too. He
Right.
I'm
he
glad
was
you're
right in
alive.
there.
What's
And
going on, brother?
yeah. A lot of drivers came out to make sure Jeff Jones could still compete. So that's the spirit of drifting to me.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on. I'm about to find a clip that they talking about to make sure that Jeff Jones was like able to drift. Look, I'm about to see if I can actually find the Jeff Jones 370Z. Let me see if I can find a flick, because I can't find it. They didn't post it yet. But dude, I am not gonna lie. His freaking his car got destroyed. like his car got destroyed. It was not even
James
funny.
Dean, the RTR camp, they were all over there as well. So very, very cool to again see that camaraderie. The track just warmed
I'm
it
gonna
up
look
a
for
little
the
bit.
clips,
you could
you
see
know,
the trenches
after.
aren't already being dug
I'm
in.
gonna see if I can find the clips after.
You know, I'll tell you what, Shelly Hansen, she's hard candy. She's tough. She's sweet.
Yeah.
She's
Good way of putting it.
hard candy shell. You know what I mean? That's what she does, man. She so
Shelly
she flipped
Hansen.
the car yesterday. That dirt grabbed her.
They're about
She
to
went
show
up
it.
on the
Look,
side.
look,
Here
look,
it is.
watch this.
So you see, bang, look at that.
Flip the
Went
car,
on the
bro.
side, just talked to her.
literally flipped the
You
car.
know, she's tough, man. Like I said, her spotter's like, dude, you need a nickname. And I was thinking about it. I was like, hard candy, dude, because she's
pretty
little,
good,
sweet,
yeah.
and she's got a hard shell.
What's
Yeah.
going on, Anna? What's going
I mean,
on?
There she
Appreciate
is.
you coming
and,
in.
You know, and what's crazy is Rome was spotting for
Literally
her
flipped the
and
car.
Carson.
Literally
And so
flipped the
he
car,
was in the
bro.
cockpit of both those vehicles.
Yeah, crazy times. Super happy she's all good. I mean, we don't get incidents like that very often in drifting, so knock on wood, this last one
Literally
we see
flipped the
for a very,
freaking
very
car.
long time, if not ever. But, you know, it shows how well these cars are built to take a hit like that, roll over, and
I
came
really
out,
like
you know,
Jersey's
pretty much
track
unscathed.
layout.
This track looks like it just got a nice cleaning. Like it just
Yeah.
looks
It
looks
looks
so
good.
good.
Looks-
The grass
it looks really
the
good.
grass looks green. The stands are clean.
All
Like
right.
everything. So
Now let's go ahead and hold on. Can I move this? I can move this. We're gonna move myself right here. So look, so we got Dan Burkett. This is the seating bracket. So this is before the main stuff. So they're just trying to compete to get to the main stuff. So we got Dan Burkett, and he has a bye run. When no one's name is under, that means that they have a bye run. So we got Connor O'Sully and Jonathan Hurst going against each other. Ryan Littrell, Tommy Lemaire, Andy Haitley, Diego Saito. Dimitri Brewski has a bye run. Austin Mata, Jack Shanahan, Rudy Hansen has a bye run, and Nick Novak and Federico Sharifo. Federico Sharifo drives the Ferrari. Now I think he's a good driver, but the vehicle that he's running, it just makes it a lot difficult for him. But let's keep going.
needed a nice douche here.
Yeah.
So all right, taking a look here. This is pro seating brackets. You can see quite a few. You know, get 3 bye runs. So Rad Dan, Dimitri Brewski, Rudy Hansen. What that also means is there's only one driver that will be watching from the sidelines because we have 12 spots available, 20 pre-seated drivers after our 3rd round of competition, and most
So
recently
what?
in Orlando. The other 12 spots
think-
are backfilled with 12 of these 13
okay.
drivers. 3 points at stake if you advance on. Tracks
So
get
everybody
clean.
but
What are
one
your
will advance
expectations here
on.
for pro seating brackets. And keep in mind, this
And this
is
is
game
pro
day
speed-
for round
so-
2 of the Link Engine Management.
This is pro seating bracket. Now, there's also pro spec, which is like, you know, the division under them, and they went 2. Now, we'll be reacting to that probably like, you know, later in the week, but we're going to focus on pro right now.
Pro Spec Championship.
Yeah, so because of the schedule concept and something that maybe, you know, we
Implement.
could adopt moving
Bro, what is
forward,
this
but
vehicle that he's
what
driving,
that means,
bro?
though, is those drivers get a little bit more track time just before they come on. The downside with that, though, and you can see with the cleanup
What is he
here,
driving?
is that those are the only drivers, you know, out there. If there's an incident, if there's some sort of contact that's made, that's going to make things a little bit difficult. So just
How
before
much
we
do that
got on
cost?
there,
I want that.
There was a
I
bit
want
of
that.
some contact, and we'll talk about it a little
Okay.
bit later. But
How seating works.
No single run qualifying, that's gone. Top 20 ranked drivers are locked in. Everybody else battles for the bracket spots below that. You're allowed one more time per seating.
So when they say one more time, that means like, okay, so let's say they go, right? And like the judges call a one more time. That means that they do the run again so they can judge another run because the judging was so close. Now, when they say no single run qualifying, that means so you got 2 cars and they're both going against each other. Now, they don't do the 1 car and then they score. They do the 2 cars. What's going on, Tezo? Stop. Appreciate you stopping by. But yeah, they just do 2 cars instead of 1 car. So
battle, but then after that, got to run through it. So the idea is to kind of get everybody ranked in. As you said, 1 driver going home. We'll talk you through that as we go. But those drivers with those higher number, or the I guess lower numbers, but like a Tommy Lemaire with 13th, Daigo Saito with 12th, and
I gotta figure out how
who else?
the actual
the
point system works.
lowest ranked driver is Tommy Lemaire. So
Yeah.
he wants to
He's
win
gotta
his
win.
battle. He's got to win against Ryan Littrell.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's watching from the stands. Also
sure, I'm
at
finna get
stake is
something to eat.
3
I'm tired.
points
That's
per
real.
win in preceding brackets.
Okay,
When
so
we get
Frederick
to actual
Osbo.
competition, it's 10 points per win. So again, you could do the math, and we'll do it for you. Speaking of
Okay.
math, this is how it's accumulated over 3
Frederick
previous rounds.
Osbo
Made our way
is
from
above
Long
James
Beach, Atlanta,
Dean. That's pretty
Orlando, most
good.
recently, and now
That's
here we
pretty
are in
good.
Jersey. Frederick, the Norwegian Hammer. Osbo, look at that, 3-time
Frederick
champion behind
Osbo
him.
won the last,
James the
won
Machine
the
Dean,
last
only
round.
10 points behind. Hiro Manoa winning Orlando, the youngest ever driver.
Hiro Manoa, the one in third place, he's literally like 15 years old. He's literally 15 years old, and he's competing with big dogs. 15. He's 15 from Japan. He's 15 from Japan. What am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my life? 15 from Japan, competing with big dogs. What? Are you serious? Like, what am I doing with my life? Like, my priorities are not straight.
To win a Formula Drift competition, 15 years old. What were you doing when you were 15? Video games,
I'm
RC
saying.
cars? Well, this guy's doing it in real life. 1,000 horsepower hot rods. High flying Brandon
Literally.
Sorensen, Matt Field, Christopher Forsberg, Adam LZ, who got a little chin check from a tree yesterday. Don't even saw that video. The tree was like, shut
I'ma
up.
find
And
that
the
video
nature
for
was
y'all
like,
too,
shut your
bro.
mouth. Like, it was crazy. Glad he's okay. Ryan Turk. Would love to see him thrive. Just announced he's expecting another child, another baby boy Turk in the family. If the Turk doesn't have enough testosterone around, here's
He
another
just
one
asked
for the
you that now,
diet.
for real.
Daniel Stuckey, D-Mats, you see the numbers there. Jack Shanahan, this is a must-win for Shanahan. Going for, you said it yesterday, Rookie of the Year. I think you know, coming to FD,
Yeah, I think-
what are your thoughts? Because you know the
Okay,
Shanahan
no,
family
my
well.
favorite drifter
Yeah,
is
it's-
Hiro Manoa,
there's a
mainly
lot of
because of how
pride in
young
that
he
family.
is.
I mean,
but
they are very,
I am rooting
very
for Jack
competitive.
Shanahan, the Shanahans too,
They
because they
support each other
they
a lot,
throw
but they're also
down.
the first people to be like, hey, you screwed up, you made a mistake here. So it's a really interesting dynamic to be around, but yeah, there's so many different battles that we're looking at, not just the championship, but the rookie race as well. Because then you start looking at a Connor O'Sullivan, a Tommy Lemaire as well, fighting for that. So there's a lot going on with the points race right now.
All right, as we get the track prep, let's take a look back. Speaking of Hiro Manoa, he was the overall hero in Orlando.
He won Orlando. No, wait, it was
Thunder,
Hiro.
the Lightning, the
Did
Scores.
Hiro
This is
win
round 3 of the
Orlando?
Formula Drift Pro Championship. Are you ready to meet your top 16 drivers? Pound your feet. Orlando, make some noise.
This dude's 15, by the way.
This gentleman's in 9th grade, coming all the way.
He's a
from
freshman in
Japan
high
and
school.
Juku Racing, GT Raider, the youngest ever to podium. Make some noise.
Freshman in
Ryan
high school.
Manoa.
The US style is very different in the Japanese style, so I tried the simulator.
He's won at FD Japan most recently.
Yeah, he's so much more than just a young sim drifter. He is absolutely wild and the next great competitor.
He's got a lot of
Like, chat, he is 15 years old. Imagine when he's 20. Hold on, wait a minute. Lock in right quick. Imagine when he's 20. That gives him what? Almost 8 years of drifting experience? I will venture to say that he'll be better than James Dean. I'll say that. I feel like he'll be better than James Dean in the future. I'll say that. I'll say that. That's a hot take. I'll say it. I will say it.
fans here cheering him on because he is Dominican's finest. He wants to get on the box here in Orlando. Jonathan Castro.
Well, this season has been just awesome.
All right, cool. Come
Beginning
on.
of a
Get to
great,
this.
And the 86, they're a very popular chassis.
well, there is just the beginning of a great piece on Hiro Manoa, Jonathan Castro. Orlando
Shout out to Hiro Manoa,
always
man.
delivers.
He
So
is
does E-Town, a very
he is so
unassuming
tough.
track, always creates a little bit of calamity.
All right,
saw
we got our first
yesterday,
battle
but it was
going
Mother
on.
Nature that did that. Now, boys are back in town, and the gals as well. Here we go. Kicking off our seating brackets, Connor O'Sullivan. You see John
Okay.
first, that Cash Racing, Mr. Cool. It is literally great weather, beautiful weather right now. And we're talking about, look at this. The
That's not
smoke
Cash,
screen
man.
here,
Hurts, my
outside
bad.
Zone 2, O'Sully. But look at Cash. He is
Okay.
right there. Jonathan Hurst, excuse me, I always call him Jonathan Cash. But in that last outside zone, into that.
That was good. That was solid.
Really well done. You could see the moat
That
built
was
around
solid.
the
Jonathan
castle.
Hurst
They
with
were
the
cleaning
chase
that
run.
up.
That's nice.
Little
Jonathan
puddle
Hurst is
accumulation
the
there of
blue
some
car.
water, so we'll see if that
That
comes
was a
into
nice
play.
one.
Yeah, phenomenal way to kick things off. I mean, they're not specifically teammates, but they
Okay, so when they're battling like this, they kind of want to be, or the chase driver in the back. He kind of wants to be like super close to the lead driver, you know, for proximity. Now he also wants to feel like these little zones right here.
Comes into
I'll
play.
show you.
yeah, phenomenal way to kick things off.
He wants to feel these zones. He wants this back tire to drag across this back line. and that means, you know, he's feeling the zones.
I mean, they're not specifically teammates, but they are drivers that know each other quite well, travel together. So it's a lot of
Now, it's taking a
you know,
little bit
lot
of
of
shallower
tension in this
line, but,
battle.
you know, it
First
kind of
time we
cleans
cut
it
a little
up
bit of the line
and gets a little bit
really
more proximity.
O'Sully out front lays down a solid lead. Look at that transition though from Jonathan Hurst, maybe
Nice.
showing that he was a little bit further back for that
Ooh.
one section than that's
That was good.
exclamation point
That was
right
a
at
good
the
chase
end of the
run.
A little bit of a
Good
door
chase
bang
run,
there.
good lead
I mean,
run. That was
There's
good.
going to be some smack talk between these two drivers, and we talked about this earlier.
Jonathan
but,
Hurst is in that blue
Connor actually
Cadillac,
went into
and
a
Connor
bit of
O'Sully's in
a-
that
a
BMW.
collision with Andy Haley during practice before this, so I wasn't sure what the car was like because it happened just.
I wonder,
before
did they
came up to
post
this
the
battle.
practice? I don't know if they posted practice.
All you want to do is advance on to the 8. If not, have a higher seating number than the bottom driver. So here we go, Jonathan Hurst, Mr.
Okay.
Cool, that Cadillac brings it into outside zone 2, set it and forget it, riding the line.
No, this is close.
The pocket, like you said, these guys good
This is
friends
close.
with
Look at
bitter
O'Sully.
enemies
Look at
right
O'Sully.
now. They want to just solidify their spot
Look at
into
O'Sully,
tomorrow's
just
main
hanging there,
event.
just hanging there.
Pride of Paducah
That's
brings it on
nice.
home in
That's
that last
really
outside
good.
zone. So pretty fairly
That's
equally
really
matched.
good.
Looked like they both drove really kind of cleanly
Yeah,
and,
it
and
was clean.
precisely.
Yeah, both lead runs were really.
They were trying to
really
go for that
solid. This
textbook
overhead
run.
drone view is going to really show us where the zones were. So right off the hop there, you can see that Connor O'Sullivan had a better first outside zone that lacked a little bit through the first part of the second.
Look
outside
at
zone.
that.
You can
Ooh,
see
he
just
was feeling
he's
that
keeping
zone.
that car in there. Hurst out front though, really smooth, really solid all the way through, and then Connor just trying to get that proximity, trying to get the angle lined up. So a great battle from both of them. A little bit of cleanup on both ends, but
Yeah.
overall very evenly matched, at least in my
That
mind.
was evenly matched. I'm kinda-
getting through
I don't
this
know
first
how
set of
they're gonna
battles.
go.
So stoked that this is
So they do their runs. He's out in front, he's in back, he's out in front, and he's in back. Now, and then they judge those two runs together, and then they come out with the win.
they were kicking off seating. I mean, great set of battles. Both drivers make it through, make it look good, and hopefully this is a sign of things to come for the rest of the day.
They make it look good. They make it look easy.
It's such a tough track, man. I mean, it looks easy on the surface, but
I'm like
if you
super
watch how much
curious
these
on how
cars
they're
moving
gonna
around,
go. I
it's
wouldn't be
tough.
mad at it
Here we
one
go,
more
slide
time.
him left for O'Sullivan, right for Jonathan Hurst. Looks like
O'Sully,
O'Sullivan
okay.
gets the
I can see that.
victory. Oh, 2-1. So actually,
I can see why they
and,
said
that-
O'Sullivan.
that looks like
This guy, he won. I'm okay with that.
Just wanted to confirm on those scores. Was everybody just talking to? And Reese, really quick, why'd you side with O'Sully there? Just wanted to wrap out with you real quick.
Yeah, I was just watching the battle. I just feel like O'Sully did a really, as you said through the program, you were saying that they had a really good lead runs. They both had really good lead runs. I feel like O'Sully was able to have a better chase.
Okay.
And when we put that all together, I ended up going with leading the win to Sully.
I thought Hurst risked a little bit more. I don't know. That at my glance, it's like on his lead run, I
Right.
felt like he risked one. But again, O'Sully was tidier. It did seem cleaner aesthetically. But just some good insight.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you. All right,
I'm
let's
not
go to
mad
our
at
next
that.
battle here.
I agree with that, actually.
So it'll be Dan Burkett versus Connor O'Sullivan. And then we got now on deck Ryan Littoral
Yeah,
and Tommy
Ryan Littoral
Lemaire.
and Tommy Lemaire.
TLO, you talk about that Rookie of the Year.
Tommy Lemaire was throwing
and
down
Shanahan
last event.
and Tommy Lemaire. Who else is running for
Connor O'Sullivan as
Connor
well.
O'Sullivan? Thank you.
Yeah.
So both those guys making the jump from pro.
Ryan
spec,
Littoral's in
and,
the green
Shanahan
car.
jumping over the line. Here we go. Ryan Littoral, that Sunoco, the 909 S15 brings it in past the bumper. Shreds the
Feeling
bumper in
that
the face of the
angle.
Corvette. The XPS that now
Feeling
second
his
outside
arm. There we go.
Littoral puts it right in the crease. Big
Ooh,
maxing out
dirt
the
drop.
angle, getting to the mud.
Dude.
Throws
Yep.
it out there.
Yep.
And it looked like Tommy was trying to save it. Ryan just digs a little too deep, literally
Yep.
into the
That's
mud.
Ryan's fault.
Beautiful.
That's
looking
Ryan's
car,
fault.
Shreds the bumper, shreds that tail light. Tommy Lemaire.
That's
Is that
Ryan's
damage
fault.
there, or is that new?
Yeah, not sure. I mean, we saw some damage
Let's take a look.
on the back of
That's Ryan's
Ryan
fault.
Littoral. Obviously, there was a
Ryan
bit of
is
a
at fault
contact
for that.
there.
I don't care.
Those S15
Look.
tail lights hanging out, but
No.
initiation
Feels
looks
that
good.
zone, transitions into
Apex,
second outside zone.
Apex is into that
And then
corner a
you'll
little
see
bit.
he'll go a
Talking
little
about
too
it a
deep.
bit earlier. One tire in, and then through
And he'll
this
dirt
section,
drop.
you can see
Wait.
Now,
Wait. Go back.
earlier. One tire in, and then through this section.
Okay, so yep, he dirt dropped, and dirt got right here was caused him to like overshoot it. Okay, that
You can
makes sense.
see. Oh yeah, so that was definitely a tough one. I mean, Ryan Littoral's car was bouncing around a little bit, and as you get that bouncing, you're not making contact with the track the proper way. and then it starts to
I
push
feel
away
like
a little bit
Ryan's
wider
at
as the
fault
car
for that
starts to
because,
float
you know,
out
there's
further.
nothing
So
really that
once
Tommy
it
could have
goes through
did.
this section, you'll see it and see how much that car jumps. That pushes him wide, almost over rotates, and Tommy able to get the car checked up. It did
Nowhere
look
to
like,
go.
yeah, it did look like he made a bit more contact at that point. So not sure if we'll end up getting those cars looked at as that beautiful rear bumper getting carried over back into the center section of the track.
Well, if you're tuning in
lose so
for
many
Formula
body
Drift
panels,
the
it's not
entirety
even
of this
funny.
weekend, or just right now, why don't you go ahead and place your bets, and you can bet and
I don't
oh,
nobody
there
care
it
about
is.
the bets.
What is
Taking a
he
look.
driving? I need this vehicle. Give me this. What is this? I need it. Give it to me.
Yeah.
And let's get a vacuum out there.
Yeah, so we talked about how this track, simple in form but difficult in complexity. But yeah.
I mean, look at this,
actually
$20
playing
bet,
bets.
pays out $36, $38. So
Oh, okay. So we're
Look at
like
that.
even
Do I
parlaying
start
at this
sports
point,
betting?
getting into head-to-heads. That's interesting.
So, if you
Imagine.
feel if you're a literal fan, look at that, $40. You got Novak taking out.
Yeah,
$40
there's some
man. He said
interesting
no.
guys in
I'm
here.
weak.
This is one of those, we can't play.
Right.
But I mean, if you know drifting, if you're really into this sport, there's some good spots.
It's easy. Scan that code. I know they have some offers there, so scan that QR code and place your bets on Formula Drift as we clean up the track. Looks like the guys, again, those, like I said, the moat's built around the castle here at E-Town. Hats off to our track workers and all the staff here.
Yeah, shout out to them, bro. I
Thank you
need
to our
that whip.
Formula Drift staff and our crew.
I bet you that bitch get up too. I bet you that get up.
Again, very, very thankful for them on just how everybody came together. Like I said, if you're just tuning in or if you didn't see social media, if you follow the series at all, there were some very sensational videos. Not great. They're at moments, let's just call it what it is, scary.
Yeah, it was spooky.
It was very, very scary. And when you're in it, you feel so minuscule. And that's what my buddy Jeremy and I were talking about leaving here. It's like, you have an ant in your hand and you flush it down a toilet and it's like done.
What are they talking about, Chad?
Rock going 1,000,000 miles an hour, and
What
all
are
of
they
a sudden
talking
It
about?
was like, oh, there's a threatening storm. Holy cow! Batten down the hatches.
What are y'all talking
and
about?
Just
Why is he running?
Insanity
What's
ensues,
going on here?
And like I said, for the most part, everybody is okay. Heard about a fan maybe catching something, but there were different perspectives. The videos.
Oh, they're talking
of-
about the rain.
I saw
Okay.
Kinnan, who works for Dylan Hughes, and his video just showed the carnage of all the easy ups and all the shrapnel. I mean, even the Toyota activation, they have concert-style trellising that flew up with a concrete barrier. Odie had concrete barrier. One ended up on the trailer. One flung over like a slingshot on the other side of the wall. So just to show you the
That's
intensity
crazy.
of this and how minuscule you can
No,
be, and just
that
get
tornado
flung
was
like
crazy.
that.
As you said, sudden. Like
I
saw
said,
the
I'm gonna
clouds
pull up the
coming
clips.
in, you're looking
I'm
at the
gonna pull
radar,
up the clips
like,
when we
it
done
looks
with
like
live.
it's, we're gonna get some
Or
bad
done
rain,
watching
and
this.
then
I'm gonna put the clips so y'all can see
a
how
minute or
bad
two,
it was. 'Cause it was
I mean,
bad.
you couldn't see out of the
It was
windows, and
bad.
everything just started flying. So happy that everybody's okay.
I just say that because here we are. Oh, got a delay, a little bit of water on track, got the blower, got the track staff. All hands on deck on fixing cars, fixing the track, making sure we put on a great competition, which creates a good show and puts smiles on faces. At the end of the day,
All right, nice. They're about to
we're,
go.
making sure overall.
Come on,
I'm all right.
come
I got
on.
a little-
There we go.
Good. Yeah, it's golden right now. So Tommy Lemaire, Ryan Literal coming down
All
the pipe.
right.
Tommy Lemaire initiates an XPN Corvette.
Up,
Makes
a little
it
shallow
dips
on the
in
first
just a
horizontal
little
zone.
bit. Doesn't get very deep there. So
Okay. Trying to clean it up.
Contact maybe affected him, but like you said, that hop right there, that killer crossover on that second
Okay,
outside
now it
zone.
looks like Ryan Little's starting to pick it
Suspension
back
right,
up.
otherwise it's going to hop, skip, and jump. and away off the track.
Damn, ooh, he
There you
swung
go.
that
That's the
hard.
Mud people there on the
Look like he
on
swung that
last
hard. I don't
outside
know.
zone. Looking more like Woodstock
Ryan
in the
Little
90s.
look all over the place
Yeah,
over there.
splash zone.
What was the,
Yeah,
what's
Tommy,
the run
I mean,
chasing?
with the spin out that happened previously, Tommy just got to get around this track. You also want to use it to get the car dialed in. So a little bit shallow through a couple of these
Yeah,
zones.
Ryan
Maybe the
looked-
track's a little faster than what they were
I don't
expecting.
know.
They got some good runs in practice, but ultimately just pretty quick throughout most of this run. And Ryan literally, you can still see trying to get everything
Yeah.
dialed with that car. The
Ryan
upside is the
literally,
chances
he-
of him going
that car doesn't doubt
going
at
home
all.
today are very, very slim with the 4th ranking overall. So
I think they're gonna give it to Tommy.
really he can play it a little bit safer here, but
They're gonna give it
ultimately
to this
everybody's
car.
still fighting for those points, wanting those points, and a couple points might be the difference at the end of the season.
Let's slide him left or right.
Yeah.
Looks like right.
Give it to
Tommy
Tommy.
Lemaire gets the victory.
That's automatic.
And this does not mean that Ryan Literal is out just yet. Ryan Literal currently sits in 4th. So that is promising, and he will get locked in. He will get locked in because he does better Jonathan Hurst.
We got Daigo
Saito.
Daigo Saito right there.
You just want to be.
He got a Bape livery. Like, chat, that is a Bape livery car. Like a Bape. That is like it's Bape. Like bathe an ape.
Driver, 12 spots available, 13 drivers in total, so one driver will be sitting out, but Ryan Littrell, he'll make it in, just given that he has the number 4 draw.
And really, for this battle coming
Andy
up, Daigo
Haley,
Saito,
the Drift
the 12th
Wizard
ranking,
versus Daigo Saito.
He needs to win this to stay in at this point, because he basically, we'll talk you through as we go.
Crazy to think that, a Formula Drift champion,
that is my
D1
favorite
champion,
looking car.
Arguably one of the best drifters in the world, making his re-entry into Formula Drift. He's going against, and here he is in seed brackets. I would just equate that to just finding the right secret sauce and the marriage of man and machine.
It's a lot. It's different. It's a different platform, different engine package to what he's kind of used to. But Daigo, he's driven so many different cars over the years. Once he gets things figured out, though, oh man.
We got Andy Haley as lead driver, and Daigo Saito as the chase driver.
He just had some contact with Osoli right before we kick things off here, so hopefully he worked it out. Daigo Saito gets checked up a little bit. He was getting aggressive. Andy Haley now transitions that second outside zone. The Evil AutoWorks BMW now wraps around that inside clip. Both of them. Look at Daigo. I feel like he's surging there. And that's where Andy went off before. Daigo Saito jumps up,
that's a crucial spot right there.
And impedes
crucial spot right there,
Daigo.
that dirt drop.
And that's where Andy went off earlier in practice, right before we started seeding brackets. So just pushing a little bit too hard, has not figured out. So whatever sorcery Andy Haley needs to do, he needs to perform that in order to just get it dialed in. And again, Andy Haley has the number 5 draw. Even if he loses, he will be in, given that Jonathan Hurst is currently sitting in 9th, and he is the most recent unfortunate losing battle.
Bro, he was on it. Daigo Saito was on
You
that.
always wonder if there's any damage or anything strange going on with the car.
Definitely shallow on the outside
the car
zone,
is just
too.
a little bit slower, maybe just not as much grip dialed into it, and a little bit floaty. And Daigo kind of holding back the car,
then just
trying to
overshoots it
find
on
the right time, and then right through here. So the question's going to end up being, did Andy go off independently, and then that's what caused the collision, or did Daigo
off the work?
Get into
Appreciate
the
you,
side of
DZK.
Andy?
Stay
the other
safe.
part,
Have a
too,
good
is
day
you
at
should
work.
still be accelerating. So looks like the contact was after Andy was already off track. At least from that perspective.
There's a little patch of dirt right there on that outside zone,
look at
and
a
I
few
think
different angles
that's
here
what
just to
made
really
him
make sure that's
overshoot
the
it.
case. Because especially here with it being that flat track, the lower camera angles give you a really cool perspective on what the car is doing in one way, but the overall is going to give you everything for the line.
It's the truth serum, baby.
So we'll see here. The big thing we're looking for is, when did Andy go off track, and then what happened with Daigo as we get into our second outside zone. Things look pretty good here for Andy. The car's looking fairly settled, comes out of the zone nicely, lines it up for the inside clip. They are looking for the trailing wheel, the front trailing wheel, to be in the middle of that box, and then
he just overshot.
So that's what I was saying.
But was he already going off? That's the conundrum.
I think Andy had one wheel off. Based on that view, it looks like he's got one wheel off there.
Yeah, so he's got one. He was already tracking. Nope.
And then Daigo gets into the side, and because you get that wheel off, you're going to slow the car down a lot. That's you're putting basically an anchor in the mud.
So Andy was already off.
That's from my perspective, but I could also see the argument of Andy being like, I only had one wheel off. 3 wheels is a 0. You still have to kind of match that in the chase, but there is no decel in that area. So that's what I mean. One wheel there. Daigo's trying to
contact. And he was deep too.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Now that we had that overhead, so here you're like, okay, don't really see much contact. Looked like the attitude of the car, but he was already off.
Dude, he need to look at that car
really
because
just
that was a
solidified
deep
it. So
hit.
I think he was on a trajectory. I'm talking about Andy here.
Right.
On a trajectory to go off. Daigo just emulsified it.
And we've seen that come up before, where a lead driver was on the incorrect line, was going to be going offline, and then creates an issue. So sounds like Andy Haley is going to get the fault for this. So he's got some damage. He'd have to call a 5-minute timeout. Here in seeding, you get a 5-minute timeout that can be used. Once you get into the main battles, though, use it or lose it. You get another one at that point. So Daigo will get some time to look at his car, work on his car. Andy will have to call the 5, though. And both of them are going to need some time. I think we saw both of them DB'd.
That makes sense. I'm okay with that.
Even talk
Andy
about
Haley's not fault.
what does that do to the car? Like, as far as suspension, that's
being tested. Look at that, man.
in the cockpit, and we can. And I love, whoa, going to the moon, baby.
Yeah, looking at the stars at that point, they're kind of a front row view to the top of the.
All right, now
top
we can get
row.
to the next one.
Austin Mata.
Yeah,
and
Austin
Jack
Mata
Shanahan.
and Jack Shanahan going
I'm
next.
expecting a part from the top rope.
Yeah,
Two grizzly dudes. You put them in the forest, I think they'd survive.
Austin Mata in this S14.
Here we go, Austin out front.
Yeah.
Shanahan in chase position. Austin brings in that first outside zone.
Smoking
Now in
the tires.
second, Austin
Ooh.
very clean. You can see Shanahan.
Calculated, dialed, proximity, Jack.
Fourth round
Jack.
with his vehicle. So just getting his bearings. Awesome to campaigning this S
Oh!
chassis for quite some time.
Dirt
He
drop,
gets into the
literally
mud,
just-
snaps back. Wow, he was
Oh
deep.
my God, like that section of the track is
I
just
talked
crucial.
about this outside zone
It's
3
just
playing a
crucial.
role. It was a few years ago. Last year we
It's
kind of
just
came
crucial.
out. It wasn't too bad. But
You
now,
have
I
to
mean,
set
just
your
look,
car up,
it
because
is
if
an
you overshoot,
absolute
you're
gravel
done.
pit,
Oh
and
my
just blasting
gosh.
defenders off.
Oh my
man.
gosh, that
Yeah,
looks
it's the
Stay
day
out of there.
It's the difference maker right now.
It's the Widowmaker is what it is.
Yeah, we're lucky there's been no big incidents there, but
Yeah.
as that gets dug out more and
Just
more.
getting started.
Yeah, exactly. As it gets dug out more and more, it's going to get spicy. So I don't know if we've got a pile of dirt sitting somewhere around here that we can fill that in before things continue on. But yeah, that's.
I'm thinking quickset concrete. Let's just put the wall on the edge.
We're in New
The
Jersey.
wall on
There's
the
got to
edge
be a
is
concrete
great.
guy in the stands at this point. So Austin Mata, big angle on initiation. Looks really
Very
good
big
through there.
angle.
Getting the car set up well. Second outside zone looks very stable. Adds even more angle coming through there. It does cause him to push out of the zone a little bit earlier. And Jack Shanahan really getting things dialed in the chase. And then Mata
You
completely
have to
independent,
set the car
shoots out wide
right.
and off to the side. So Jack, really smart to get that car angled up, seeing what's about to happen when there's the contact. So it doesn't look like Jack sustained much damage. Austin, probably a fair bit.
I did hear from the officials, Austin has debeaded. What that means is we don't allow, so if you debead under your own power, if it's low tire pressure, contact with something that you made, it's
Right.
kind of self-inflicted, you can't replace it. So
Right.
Austin is debeaded. He went off. The contact wasn't made till after he snaps back outside zone 3, dabbling with the dirt, comes back on, debeaded. He won't be able to fix his vehicle, so Shanahan will have a bye run here in the second run. Austin, fortunately, given his position 7th, he still
That's
does
so
better,
unfortunate.
Jonathan Hurst. So here's
Yeah.
another driver who got a bit
Boom,
of good luck
like
as
that
far as
right
placement
there.
and number drawn
Gnarly.
in seeding
And like
brackets.
hitting,
so he
hitting
will
something
move
that
on,
hard
even though he is
will
unfortunately
throw off
out
your
here in
entire
the seeding brackets. So
suspension.
Shanahan
So
solidifies
even
his
if he
spot,
was
advancing
able to
on
get the
into our
car,
seeding brackets, grade 8, and
beat it,
Shanahan
like,
will be going against Dimitri Brutsky,
it
who
would've just
had
threw
a
off the
bye
entire
run. Rudy
suspension.
Hansen was
Like, he
intended
would've
to have
been
a,
fighting
or
the
he has
car.
a bye run, but we won't see him. We will see Novak
That
and
was a
Federico, or
gnarly
Healy
hit.
and Daigo Saito.
Yeah, so for Jonathan Hurst right now, this is going to sound bad, but what he's hoping for is that Daigo Saito or Federico Sharifo goes out. If one of them go out,
Yeah.
then Hurst has got the bye. Or not the bye, but
Yeah,
he
the
gets in the
advancement.
battle. And if not, if both of them win their battles, then that's the weekend for Hurst.
Oh, man.
Which is crazy,
Yeah.
but that's the way this stacks up, man.
Yeah.
So one driver's got to go.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, just given that there's 13 spots. I'd love Ben takes his bye run. He'll advance on, but
Shanahan's doing his
I
bye
would like
run.
to just see 30
Bye run
for
just means you're
everybody.
going by yourself.
And then it's
Once
just
if you complete the
Yeah,
track,
I don't
then
disagree.
you just advance on.
Disagree with that.
That's pretty
It's
much
tough.
it.
But
You don't have to
that's
do any
motorsports. You know what you're getting involved in. If
overcalculated
it's
moves. Just complete
IndyCar,
the track,
if it's
and you just
F1
advance
actually
on.
is a scenario
That's
similar to
basically
that. So you're in the
locked.
race. It's just where you're
Well,
at.
it won't be. I mean, it won't be for long. Another
Right.
team coming in. So
Yeah, Cadillac America.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's do it. I'm
Yeah.
excited for that, by the way.
So am I.
Yeah, it's going to
We
be
got
great.
people in the
Yeah,
burnout
it's,
box right
it's,
now.
it's
Did you hear
interesting.
Daniel Ricciardo's going to drive for Cadillac?
That's this section.
I-
So right here, they're doing burnouts, and so what they're doing is they're warming up the tires for the run. The warmer your tires, the easier it is to get the car loose, because if you got warm rubber, it stretches out, a lot more or whatever. So it just makes it a lot easier to get the car loose and moving.
I hope that's the case. I don't know. I'm not
Federico
holding my breath on that.
Sharifo
But,
Pretty cool.
yeah, I got some
Another
guesses. who's
BMW.
gonna
It's a
get
lot
that
of
back.
BMWs.
Right.
I gotta remember.
All right,
I
so
gotta remember
Federico
the liveries.
Sharifo, speaking of Italian and race cars,
He's
got the
drifting a
Ferrari being
Ferrari.
warmed up here.
A
And,
Ferrari.
Fetty versus Novak, saw them practicing actually with each other. Fetty was leading, Novak giving chase.
drifting.
Pulling up to the venue here earlier.
And what's interesting
Nick
is
Novak.
Novak's
All right, Nick
had a
Novak
rough
for Rico
season.
Sharifo.
This has not been good for him so far. Talked a lot about that, but Fede, complete opposite. Coming off
I know,
here in
grab some
Orlando,
water
doing
right quick.
quite well in seeding, on some momentum.
Yeah.
So really interesting. Overall match win percentage, pretty equal between the two of them. We're looking at 2020 up until 2025. This could be really good. Novak was dealing with some interesting engine issues, but they got it solved, and it ended up being something real strange. So
And we know what he's capable of. That's
Federico
crazy.
Sharifo,
He could use
Nick
this as
Novak,
fuel
Nick
for the
Novak in
fire.
front.
Look at that gangster
Feeling-
flick in
ooh,
the
yeah.
outside zone 1. Almost
Federico
phases Fetty.
Sharifo,
Fetty
he's
dropped
lagging back.
quite a bit.
And he straightens out.
This
Oh,
is
yeah, no.
maybe what Jonathan Hurst was hoping for.
Look
Again,
at
you don't want
that.
to see
Nick
a victory
Novak.
like that, but Novak making it look really easy. Running his own game. Federico
Ooh,
Sharifo
he almost
stranded out there.
He almost,
on,
he almost
Ferrari
dirt drop.
Island.
You
Unfortunately,
seen that?
the
He almost
Pennzoil
dirt drop.
Ferrari
You gotta be careful, buddy.
shuts it down. He
Gotta
does
be
try to
careful
complete the
transitioning from
the
that
rest of the
inside
course,
clip.
but
You gotta
that
be
is
careful.
that is not going to be enough. And now, what went wrong? You know, because here
Yeah.
he is now. He's going to lead, and Novak. I hope his spotter is listening or watching and saying like, "All right, Fetty, shut it down. What?
Yeah.
How do we adapt?"
You don't know if there was some sort of electrical or mechanical or something like that. We'll know here pretty soon if Fetty pulls up to the line or not. If he goes back to the pits, then we know they're calling their 5, and there's something he's got to look into. But it looks like Fetty's at least
pulling
lining up. Now, he may still just be asking about it. But we'll see. That might have just been some sort of driver error that happened there, and we'll swap them back around, and hopefully Fetty's got whatever that issue is figured out, and we can get a nice head-to-head battle here.
Hold on, I'm about to pause that. I want to see Federico Sharifo drive a traditional chassis. That means driving something that everyone else drives, or like a chassis that is, you know, commonly used, like a BMW 350Z, 370Z, you know, stuff like that, 240SX, S13, S14, stuff like that. I want to see him drive that, because I feel like he's a really good driver. It's just this car is just making him, it's stunting his growth.
Nick Novak's in a very advantageous position with Fetty zeroing out behind him.
You know who's a big Novak fan right now?
Who's that?
Jonathan Hurst.
Yeah. I mean,
He's like, well, I mean, again,
yeah.
if Fetty, you talked about the scenarios. If Daigo or Fetty goes out, Hurst is in.
Yeah. So you never want to cheer for anybody to lose, but if it means competing,
Hurst is.
yeah, exactly.
Hurst is right now. All right, Federico Sharifo has got the clean air. This could change things up. And, you know, how does Nick Novak approach this? Looks like he tiptoes to the side of that Ferrari, and he's rolling it.
he's like actually dialed.
Looking good right now. Good place in the car. He is sideways, dials it in on that front clip. Minimal corrections going past that
Dirt
inside.
drop,
Oh,
dirt
he
drop,
gets to the
dirt drop, dirt drop. There we go.
All right, we got
from that inside clip, dirt drop.
So I don't think that's going to be enough to offset what Federico did on that first run in the chase position. And I think Nick Novak,
it's over with.
he very properly tried to follow Federico Sharifo.
He did the right thing. Just be in the battle, not activate an inactive chase. Just
Got
be
you on
there.
the TV.
get into,
Appreciate you.
At
Appreciate
least
the TV.
into
Hey,
a
record it
spot
for me.
where it
Record it
shows
and
that
post it
you're
on your
able to
story for
follow
me.
what's going on.
Record it and post it on your
Fetty
story.
does have some really good signs throughout
I'm
this
gonna make
run,
my
showing
thing.
that
Wait,
he's
wait.
getting his
I'm gonna
car
make my,
more or less figured out and able to drive
a little bit
it. Because
bigger.
in practice,
Yeah.
things look
Record
really
it
good
and,
too.
put it on
So
your story.
that's always the struggle is you'll see drivers in practice, things look good, everything's lining up.
You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes
But yeah, no,
that
I think
follows through, and they
Federico
look great for the rest
should
of the
just drive a
weekend.
traditional chassis.
Sometimes they get to the line.
But yeah,
and
no,
mechanical, mental,
that inside
something
clip
changes.
transitioning from that
I'm just
inside clip to
happy
that
that
outer zone.
That's
I think
the
that's outer
worst
zone 3.
of that
Yeah, I
part of
think
the
that's outer
run.
zone 3.
It doesn't look like you dragged any dirt onto the
have to
track.
set
So
the- you have to
everything's
set
all
the
good
car
there.
up
Unfortunately not for Fede though.
Give that to Nick
Slide
Novak.
him
That's
left
automatic.
for Nick Novak,
I'm not
getting
mad
the
at that at
victory
all.
unanimously. Jonathan Hurst, again,
That's
unofficially in, given that Federico had the number 11 spot. Jonathan Hurst
I
at
wonder
number
what
9,
happened
so he
when
does
he had
outrank
straightened up,
him.
when Federico
Right
straightened
now,
up in the chase
a lot of
position.
fate
I wonder
in
what
Daigo
happened.
Saito's hands,
Right.
given that he is the lowest
All right, now we're going back.
placed driver. And there's
Daigo
Daigo
getting
in
the
the
buy run.
Oh.
Oh, well,
So
there
look
you
at this.
go.
So Andy Haley is out.
Oh,
So it looks
Okay.
like Federico will be out of competition unofficially.
Yeah.
dang.
Just given that, again,
That's unfortunate.
lowest ranking 13 time of the mayor advanced on, 12 was Daigo Saito. and
Oh,
then
you're sure?
Federico.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay. That
unfortunately,
makes sense.
Federico Sharifo and the Pennzoil Ferrari will not be seeing competition tomorrow.
I
in
need
round
a
4 of
TV
the
that can do
Pro
that
Championship.
just hard.
Right. Yes, because we're now into Friday.
Yeah. Yep.
Brain hasn't calculated what's
good.
what's all going on.
It's
at
all
this
good.
point.
A lot of things going down here. But like I said, just beautiful bluebird
these
day.
little buy
Wind
runs,
is
that's
blowing. It's a
really
nice.
nice
It's
out.
like it's very. I want to go down to the beach.
Yeah.
Not the beach in outside zone 3. I'm talking about literally the beach with the ocean.
Get you a chair.
Let's
Set
go to
you
the
up right
Jersey
there.
Shore. Here we go, baby. I was born to run with the Bathing Ape. Let's not bathe ape. Let's sunbathe ape with the Injuku Racing, Jerry Yang Racing.
This liver, like this is the
86.
best looking car in FD right
Saito,
now.
man.
This is the best looking car in FD right now. Don't care.
Here in the spot, came through that the change in pavement there. The car
This is
looked
the
like it
best
was up
looking
there for a
car.
second,
I don't
but-
care. You can fight me on that. I'm
Dude,
willing to
what
fight.
is going on with outside zone 3?
Oh, no.
Is it slick right there? I mean, they had practice on it. What
It is
changed?
slick right there. Don't y'all see the
Really?
dirt that's just sitting right there? Are y'all serious?
Track
It's literally
since
dirt
last
on the
year.
track.
Outside zone 2 is extended, so you enter it a little bit sooner. The inside clip coming out of it is moved in a little, or sorry, not
Towards the center of the track.
Yes, thank you. And that might be causing them to have a little bit more speed coming through there and miscalculating. But I mean, I don't think there's any other issues. But
You know, I'm just thinking that maybe the moisture is coming up from outside zone 3, and again, they're over there. You can see they got a big turbo fan. They got brooms.
That's
They are
what
cleaning
that
up,
is.
and
It's
the
a big
drivers
turbo
just keep
fan.
bringing it back.
That's a
So you
turbo
can see,
fan.
let's compromise here. Don't go as deep.
Brawlhalla, I am not playing that right now. I do not feel like raging.
You're going to do that.
I do
but
not feel
you
like
can see,
raging.
I mean,
I'm not playing that right now.
That thing has been
Absolutely
wildly
not.
abused yesterday, today, and this is not the last time we're going to see that thing.
wasn't like that in practice, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like even in practice, we weren't seeing drivers going off like this. So you get into competition, you want to push a little bit harder, add a little bit more speed, and that's the difference here. I mean, drifting really is a game of inches.
All right, Dan Burkett, we have not seen him compete yet, but he does advance on, this being the seating
All right,
brackets. He
Dan
does have a
Burkett
5
and
run,
Connor
so he's-
O'Sully.
Again, everybody that advances on, 3 points richer, accumulated in
So we
their
got Rad
points
Dan
bank.
in the
So
Supra,
Rad Dan
and we got
Connor
Connor O'Sullivan in the
O'Sullivan.
BMW.
will
I'm
be
actually-
doing
I'm
battle.
actually
Like I
excited
said,
for this.
The,
I wanna
the
see- I wanna
rookie
see
of
how Rad
O'Sullivan
Dan
going
does
for
on this
the
track. I
rookie
wanna
of the
study
year
how he does on this
alongside
track.
TLO and Shanahan.
Yeah, this will be good.
Rad Dan and the Sun X
All right,
Toyota
so-
Supra.
We really got to adapt and stay out of outside zone 3. That is just, it's
Bro, it's almost like to save yourself, you kind of got to take a shallower line and like just get back into it. But then again, like that's low key what you got to do. You kind of got to like have a shallower line because so I wonder like transitioning, is that a decel zone like in the inside clip? I wonder if is that a decel zone, because if that's a decel zone, you got to slow down. Like okay,
Copy
we'll
that.
see.
It does seem that there might be some oil on the track going into outside zone 3. So taking a look here
What?
again, as much mud and water you can clear off the track, it very well.
NAHL.
Yeah, it looks like. And that, oh yeah,
wow.
oh boy.
wow, okay. Yeah, and I mean, nobody caught that.
Didn't know
before
Michael
this
Jackson was working a crew here.
Ugh,
Just a
I'm
little
weak.
dance move.
point. Yeah, it was
Jamona.
good. It was good. I think that's Ricky out there, busting a move.
He said,
He
I'm weak.
is widely known
Get out.
as probably the best dancer on the FD staff.
I wasn't. I mean,
yeah,
He said,
I don't
nah,
want to. I don't want
I'm
to blow up a spot.
yeah. I mean, he's incognito. He does the masked dancer, so nobody knows that
Yeah.
it's him. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
He's in Jabberwockies.
yeah.
I think he's. I
Jabberwockies
think he's
crazy.
the 35th member of the Jabberwockies.
The fact that they
And
know
here
who Jabberwockies
comes
is
Kevin
actually
Wells
pretty
just
cool.
taking a look, inspecting it, and the fridge is running. So why don't you go catch it?
There we go. There's
Clean up the
our
track.
Yeah, they're putting that
absorbent going down.
So it's a fluid.
It might have been Federico Sharifo. You
Yeah,
know,
so
why
they
did he
dropped
shut
the
it
fluid.
down and then he went through the entirety of the course?
Yeah,
Trying
yeah,
to take a look at
interesting.
where
That stuff
who leaked
is
on
better
track.
than cat litter. Like that
Yeah,
stuff
tough to say.
absorbs insane.
Very, very tough to say, but
Was it you, Crazy Larry?
thankfully we
All
got
right, but anyways, let's-
really
let's-
great
let's
staff
move
at
on.
doing this, and
Cool.
we're
Sick.
gonna see if we've
Stop.
got our person here that might have. might
Dude,
have been
I
leaking a
swear to
little
God, KH Kingdom Hearts 2 is
So-
harder than Elden Ring. You playing that right now?
I want to see.
bit. Hey, if
Oh,
we-
look at that. There it is. Look at
there's the
that.
line, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
You can see Novak
right there.
Yep. So, you know, it's not so much of who it was, not going to be deemed, but just wanted to see what happened there. So,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
So, all right, clean up here on aisle 3, going into outside zone 3. So that's why I said, like, what? We're, like, trying to solve this, like, clue. Was it, you know, was it Colonel Mustard in the library with a candlestick? Who was it? That's an old reference, and I just felt really old saying that, but that's okay.
Still play that game.
Do you?
Yeah, Clue.
Okay.
Yeah.
My wife loves that game.
All right, come on, move on. Come on. Clean up the track. Trying to get back to it. Come on. Blah, blah, blah. Old stuff. What's what? What you talking about? What's what?
What are your thoughts?
Still cleaning up the track. Come on.
You know, we time. Each got it.
Jesus. Jeez, it's been like 30 minutes of footage. Holy man.
Really proving at the old.
Jeez.
Say no, different course. We are changing.
And they're talking about LA. Okay. Now we got to burn our box.
International Drifting Sanctioning Body.
Dan Burkett.
We have partners in different parts of the world. And
Connor O'Sullivan.
Ironically, the track a grade 8 as well, but just a little dirty on the outside zone 3. Hopefully got all cleaned up, and we are ready to lick the stamp and send it. Dan Burkett, O'Sullivan here, coming through the start chicane. No cones hit, no cones hurt. All right, that Mark IV Toyota Supra.
That Mark IV Supra. It was an interesting line.
Tucks in the United States Army BMW.
Okay, looks a little bit more dialed in outside zone 2.
And we get it right there, bouncing.
Look at that chase.
Little pogo ball for those that have a bad back now. You're old enough to remember into that last outside zone 3. There goes Dan Burkett.
Almost that.
Looks like they got that grip. Very, very different in contrast to what we saw from Mago Saito going to the outside zone 3.
Drop.
So good run there by the Rad Industries Supra.
Yeah, Rad Dan really coming out of the gate hot. Gets that back bumper right onto the wall, initiates nice and early, and then starts to get locked into these zones. Outside zone 2. Has
a little bit of the door tap. That's nice.
Gets into there, and then Connor O'Sullivan in the chase. Just not letting Rad Dan go anywhere without him next to him. Outside zone 3, as you said, got that locked in. Actually looks really grippy there. You can see Rad Dan hook up just a little bit through partway through. It's a good sign.
That's good.
Hopefully it means we're not going to see more jet drops there, because that spot looks real sticky now.
Let's throw down more of that.
Yeah,
that secret sauce. Is that pumpernickel? I think they're using all the leftover pumpernickel that you didn't eat, Jacob. So they're going to throw it back to the guy that first chase. United States Army BMW out front initiates aggressively. Boom, puts it in there.
Dang, Rad Dan.
Back bumper, he bashes it in. I don't know if that's going to favor well for him. That didn't look like O'Sullivan led him into the wall. He was just aggressive on initiation, but we'll take a different glance.
Yeah.
Again, at first glance, just O'Sullivan, like we said, talking about going for that Rookie of the Year, making the jump to pro. All signs were saying he was going to be our Prospect champion last year. And
a complete shutdown.
Tommy Lemaire at the last
Tommy Lemaire, your fellow Canadian countryman, comes out on top of
he had
TLO,
a complete
making the jump.
shutdown.
O'Sullivan, at that time when it all accumulated in Utah, he's like, nah, I'm not going to pro. And I'm stoked he's here.
Yes.
Because he's obviously a talented driver. Let's take a look at it again here.
Yeah.
Okay, so was he actually too aggressive?
No,
he was just too aggressive.
Really, what O'Sullivan did is the same thing that Adam LZ did a couple of years ago, which was kind of winning on initiation here. And there was some good conversation in the pro drivers meeting about the initiation, where one of the drivers asked, like, yo, can we throw a backy here? And I believe
we throw a backy here? Hey, yo.
If you can pull it off, I don't care. Go for it. But understand the risk that you're taking. Connor did not pull a backy in this situation, but it was a really nasty initiation. Lots of angle, lots of speed into it, and it looked like Rad Dan just wasn't able to kind of get into the same spot and pushed a little bit wider, and that's it. So you can win this battle on initiation.
That's crazy.
It is a massive risk, because if you overshoot it, you're done too.
I would say by comparison, O'Sullivan had a more fluid kind of blending into it.
Yeah.
And on the lead run.
Unpopular opinion, bro. E46 looks better than a E36. I'm gonna be honest. Unpopular opinion.
Cat's lead run, he went in and bounced off the wall.
Yeah.
So two different approaches. Not to say one is better than the other, just different on initiation. So O'Sullivan, just like I said, fluid, kind of entered in on the side, the leading line facing the drivers, blended on in. Dan Burkett, bang, bounced off the wall, ricocheted out, kept it good. Both of them filled that first outside zone, but Dan Burkett on that approach, I think, got thrown off by Osoli's initiation. So I think, you know, unfortunately, Rad Dan hit that wall on his own accord and bounces off and just does not live to see another day as far as competition goes.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the judges are asking for some more replays.
Watch his bang. See how he bangs in? Osoli entered in and avoided the wall.
Yeah,
I feel dizzy.
It's interesting they're going back and taking another look at this as well. So maybe there's something we're missing in this equation.
We should play a horror game. We can.
The decision has
I'm
been made.
down.
No judges put in their vote yet.
At some point, I'm
you would
down.
originally
Doors.
think it's kind of an open and
I'm
shut
saying
case.
doors.
There's maybe a bit more nuance
play
to
that.
it. So
I'm down to play that.
I'm really interested to see how this ends up
We can
playing
play
out.
doors.
Maybe a bit more of a discussion as to what's going on, because that's really interesting. That they're going back and taking a look at
Doors
this.
be making
This
me
is what I
mad.
love
You
about
just butt.
the armchair
You just
experts
garbage.
at home. Be like,
You gotta get better at the game.
Leonardo
Right.
DiCaprio just right
That's
there.
right, it is.
We'll get
All right,
Reese.
come on.
Reese, if you could throw on your headset.
One more
there, I
time.
wanna talk to you. So Dan, okay, wow.
Ooh.
So
Gave it to
at
Rad Dan,
glance,
okay.
That's what I love about this. They went into the weeds of it. Reese, one more time, and Dan Burkett actually gets the victory.
Yeah, so Dan Burkett does move on here. I ended up going one more time because I feel like toward the end of outside zone 3, there was a pretty big error in the lead by Rad Dan. So we can see
Okay, we got
we're
a side by side.
We're going to see here, I feel that Osoli in outside zone 1. Now, we did say going into the zone to be on throttle. He does get on throttle a little bit, comes off throttle. The proximity gets closed. You see he takes off again. Rad Dan has nowhere to go, and then he goes off there. Now, in the lead, Rad Dan, you can see comes through. You can see he does kind of have a bobble in the lead, and I think it was maybe a straight on my part. So I ended up going one more time so we can clean it up. But the other judges saw it as Rad Dan getting the win based off of what happened in outside zone 1 with Sully having that off throttle when he should have been on throttle in outside zone 1.
So it wasn't so much the line, it was just the on power.
Yeah, because in the driver's meeting, it was
that
said
makes sense.
that, hey, you
When I'm down this weekend, we can this weekend. We can shoot for Sunday. I ain't got nothing to do Sunday.
need to make sure you're on throttle when you're getting into these zones. He did get on it for a second, then he kind of floated. There was nothing there. Got back on it, you can see here, and then
Just a little too
the
fast
hit,
pace.
not the hit, but you said Dan ended
That's
up going
unfortunate.
off.
You gotta get better at the game, kid.
So he impeded.
Yeah. So it's just, Connor should have been on throttle through that initiation and was not. We take a look back on it now. So
You can see here, on, off.
Okay.
Okay. And this is
I can see
these
it.
small subtle things where you and I are taking a look at it, talking over it. The judges are hyper focused on it. So Connor initiates well there.
Yeah.
Has nowhere
I'm not
to
mad
go,
at that.
so-
I'm not mad at
yeah,
that call.
really interesting.
And we all called
I'm
that.
not mad
We
at
all
that call.
agreed with that. I just ended up having that
agree
other
with you.
tidbit on the road, but
Okay.
Dan gets
No,
done.
that's fair.
All right.
So Dan Burkett moves on regardless of the outcome of that battle. We were more focused on line. They were looking at the actual fluidity of that because, if he hicked up, or he had a hiccup, impeded on his line, there it is. Congratulations.
All right, we got Daigo
Dan
Saito and
Burkett
Tommy Lemire
with,
next.
obviously coming to a halt. He continues on. So Osoli knocked out. So Dan Burkett will go against one of these guys, TLO or Daigo Saito. Japan versus Canada. Japan
Babe
versus
Livery
Rear.
and Juku
Here we go.
GRA6.
Daigo Saito,
Thing
first
looks
outside
amazing.
zone. Good placement of the vehicle. Tommy
Ooh,
Lemire,
good.
a little bit disrupted there on that
All right,
transition.
all right.
In the
Proximity.
second outside zone, Daigo very settled. Very.
Daigo looks
You
good.
can see calculated.
All right.
Tommy
Don't drop.
Lemire.
Don't drop. Nice.
Chase
Good.
position,
You're gripping up
locks
right there.
in.
We like
Daigo
that.
Saito scared of that dirt. He got into it a couple times there, but rips on through. Pretty straightforward. Let's take a look at it again.
So he literally did what I
Stand-up
said.
moments
He
for you.
literally came in at a
just
shallower
a
line
good
just
call
to
out there
avoid the
that,
dirt drop.
Daigo just being a little bit more cautious through that last zone, which I completely understand. So Daigo's car looks
transition,
really hooked
okay.
up really quick. As soon as he's getting on throttle, it's running. Like it's going really quick. Now he has to back out a little bit, which gives Tommy the opportunity to get back into the pocket as we come through this
Inside
transition.
flip.
Daigo gets
Literally
in,
took
gets
a
on
shallower
throttle.
line,
You
like
can see
after
the
like
car
literally
start to
what I
push out,
said.
and he
He
has to
literally
hold
just
it
avoided
back
it.
to make sure
Which
he
I
doesn't
mean,
really blow out
I
the
can't even blame him
last
for
part
it,
of that
for real,
zone. So
like you get too deep into
it's
it, you're just
it's
gonna
tough
start.
though when
You're
you
gonna
have
drop.
that dirt drop
Like
like
I
that.
wouldn't trust it at all.
You're going to go into that zone no matter what with a little bit more caution than you did
There's nothing
previously.
in here. Why am I drinking
so that
nothing
plays
that's in
into
here?
it. But Tommy does a good job
chat.
of adapting all the way through the run. Daigo's got a couple of spots where you want to see maybe a bit more commitment, but we'll swap them around.
Let's see what TLO's got for Daigo Saito. We got a clean start there. Tommy really flirting with that.
All right, Tommy
Start
Lemaire,
chicane
okay.
cone. Tommy digs deep in that first outside zone. Daigo Saito a little late to the party.
Yeah,
but then
Tommy's
brings it on
deep in that zone.
second
Yeah, we
outside
like to
zone.
see
Good
that.
placement by both the vehicles there. Tommy
Nice,
Lemaire
nice.
out front with that clean
Look at
air.
that,
It seems
look at that.
Maybe just a little bit more horsepower. Then Daigo comes into outside zone 3. Look at Tommy. Boom, bang. Just almost a V. Not
That was
so
a
much
good
a
lead
sweeping
run.
rainbow.
Tommy, that was a good
U
lead
into
run.
outside zone 3. But these guys
Kind of want to see a side by side. That was kind of close.
lightly into outside zone 3, seeing what kind of damage that can cause going off course.
Yeah, when you're getting into the zones here, it's got to be fluid. If you come in with a bit too much heat and are trying to angle up throughout the run, you'll create that hard angle, that bit of a triangle through the zone. And kind of what I saw with Tommy there through
at
this
that.
last
Yeah,
part. So
feeling that
just
zone. Yep,
adding a bit
they're
too
literally
much
just
angle when he gets
avoiding
back
that,
on
like,
the throttle,
low-key.
it shoots the car out.
They're
You really wanna
scared of that
keep
zone, and I
fluidity.
can't
You
even be
wanna,
mad at it because you go too
take
deep,
a little
you're
bit of
gonna top.
side bite out of the car through that section, so it just kind of floats through on throttle, still with speed. But yeah, just a tough one there for both drivers to that last section.
That's a tough battle. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
mean, the third outside zone wasn't amazing by either driver. So
I
it's gonna come down
wouldn't
to
be
first and
mad if
second
they
as we
gave
get
it
into
to
the VC
Daigo.
racing, custom coilover side by side. So in the chase, both drivers do a great job.
Yeah, first
To
time,
me,
yeah,
it kinda
comparable.
comes down to the lead line and who was able to commit through the rest of it a bit better. And both are pretty solid. in the
yeah,
second
that
outside zone.
seems
Tommy has
pretty
a bit more
comparable.
proximity through it.
I think
and
the
then
inside
third
clip
outside
was a little.
zone, pretty similar, although Tommy gets out of that zone a little bit earlier. So
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad if they gave it to
did
Daigo.
have a bit better of a run in the,
The part
leads
where
for the third outside zone.
where I gotta
but
hit a bunch
Tommy
of
maybe,
corners and it always gets me.
Having some more proximity in the chase through the
That's
rest
that
of it.
reaction time. You
Pretty
gotta
even match.
bust all right. Bust
as
all
we
right.
go
Come on
through
now.
those, I don't know if it'll go one more time, but yeah, I mean either way, even and through this part now that we're into it, it's those extra points. It's also that extra
would not
practice.
be mad if
maybe
they gave
trying
it to
something a little
Daigo.
bit different.
Some crazy technology there.
Yeah,
All
you
I
gotta
see are
bust a
Daigo
right,
Saito's
bust a
wheels.
left,
I don't
bust a
even
right
see
in the
car.
chase part.
It's dad
All that
jokes,
camouflage,
dad
yeah,
jokes.
that's good. Yeah.
Speaking of dads, Brian Eggert, Reese, you're not a dad, but
All right, come
Brian
on,
and
just
Reese with
let's-
Rapaz Daigo
Come
Kind
on.
of a back and forth when it comes.
for
I'm
TLO, Japan versus Canada.
Daigo?
Daigo Saito gets a 1.
Tommy?
Tommy gets 1 and
Whoa! We getting it one more
split
time.
decision. You guys are so
Split decision,
totes
okay.
adorbs. All right, so we're going
Split
1
decision,
and a 2
okay.
and a 3 across the way.
All
Reese,
right.
when are you going to bring me some
All
Colombian
right,
treats?
I'm
dude?
not mad at it. One more time, I'm cool with that.
Saturday, tomorrow? Yeah,
Jack
tomorrow,
Shanahan.
Saturday. I know we got a little thrown off by that rain. I know it fried your hard drive. I get it. Yeah,
Is that Andy?
I'm not
No,
here.
that's
I'm
not
going
Andy.
golfing with Jeff Stoneback.
It's
Jeff
Dimitri
Stoneback.
Brewski. Okay.
Here we go. Dimitri
Yep.
Brewski,
Jack
Jack
Shanahan
Shanahan.
and
This should be a
Dimitri.
fun one. Brewski knows this track probably better than anybody here.
Yeah.
Talking about this setup. This setup, the Gambler setup, E-Town. He's won here. His son knows it. I mean, the Brewski family, they're, talking about,
All right, let's
Side.
get to it.
Yeah, Rod drifted a RX-8 that Tony Angelo eventually bought. The Grenade RX-8. Wow, throwback. Sorry. Dimitri Brewski, Shanahan, all BMW, and a fierce battle. Brewski, Robinson, no problem. Here comes Shanahan. Oh, that transition you always talk about.
Ooh,
There it is
Proxy,
once again.
come on.
The Irish transition. Oh, man. That was so clean, so
Oh.
tight. That put a mint on his pillow like a service maid. In that
Jack
last outside
Shanahan.
zone,
Oh,
Brewski
he's just
rides
fielded.
up
That
on,
was great.
flirts with
That was
the
great.
dirt.
Dimitri Brewski.
Well
Come
done
on.
there.
Dimitri Brewski.
Man, Jack Shanahan,
Come on.
that transition
good.
just.
That was really
it's like
good.
opening.
so sick.
It's like opening the
That was
door.
amazing.
You walk to a nice hotel and they go, "Here you go, sir." That's what
was
Jack
a
Shanahan
really good
does.
chase.
without
lead
breaking
run.
stride,
Lead and chase.
you know,
That was
the door
good.
guy just
That was
opens
just
it up like,
good.
man, such a nasty
Look at
dive,
that.
Great transition. I mean, even Connor's up here. He was pumped on it.
Look at-
Everybody's pumped on something like that. And then Jack really,
They were literally
really
just
getting the
holding it. That
proximity,
second
but
outside
also
zone
getting
was
the
quick.
angle. Could have had a slightly better line. Oh,
He was
again,
deep in that
just to
zone,
be able
too.
to
He
time that
filled
out.
it.
It is
Dimitri Brewski filled
incredible.
that zone.
So cool, so good looking.
gonna get
And
brownie
you,
points for
you
that.
always talk
Filling
about
that zone. He's getting brownie points for that.
I told Jack in Orlando, I said, "Hey, bud, I think you're going to do
Jack,
well
if
in
you
E-Town."
fill that
Yeah,
zone
and I think this is
and
kind
are
of an
consistent
Irish
in the
style
other
course.
zones, like, you're
it's
really gonna
flat,
get it.
It's outside zones. It's flowy.
Yeah.
Nothing really crazy outside of the condition changes, the surface changes. So I think Jack can get down,
Ooh, Shanahan flick. We like that.
Sucks that back bumper up up to the wall. Brudski, like I said, he knows his course. Look at Shanahan flirting with the edge of the course.
Jack
Bro,
Shanahan.
This is seeding brackets.
Oh my
this isn't even competition.
All right.
But
We're
this
coming
is good
third outside zone.
exercise. This is,
Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. Don't
use
mess it
that
up.
muscle memory, getting it dialed in.
there.
Shanahan,
He's there.
a heater
That's
of a
him.
lead
That's
run.
Jack. That's
And
Jack all
Brudski,
day. Jack
like
all
I said,
day.
he knows this course.
Jack all day.
He's driven it probably more right next to Knapp. You know, I would say, I would say Chris Knapp and Brian Knapp. But that was good.
All right, let me pay attention to the chase.
Sun up here, and obviously we got Connor Shanahan watching his bro.
Yeah, just a nasty run from both drivers, and Jack
That's
just
Jack all
absolutely
day.
piles it in there, and Brudski in the chase,
Jack's
second
chase
outside
run
zone,
was better.
Does a bit better actually in the chase on line, but maybe not the proximity and angle. And then Brudski with a really good dive. It shows how differently
It
you
was
can
still
tackle
sloppy.
that
It still was a little more
transition,
sloppier
right,
than Jack's, I
Really
think.
in tight.
I think Jack's gonna get
Nose
this.
to tail through those
I
transitions,
think
where
Jack's
Brudski
gonna get it.
pulls back a little bit further and then dives in at the end. So
I think it just makes sense to give it to
it's
Jack.
really cool how two very different
Jack seemed a
driving
little bit
styles
more
can
put together in the chase
accomplish the
position, in
exact
my
same
opinion.
thing
And Jack's lead
still
run was
show
just
such an incredible
that
run.
that
So
flick
shouts out to
and
both these
initiation.
drivers. I mean,
Like, y'all.
that's a nuts battle. Really, really good transitions throughout. Really
But
good
I also
chase
would not
throughout,
be mad at it one more
and two
time,
different ways of doing that
truthfully.
chase.
I
Jack
wouldn't be
going for
mad.
the angle and the proximity, whereas Brudski goes for the line and the angle, but less proximity. So you do need all three. It's not one.
All right,
is
we get a
better
side
than
by
the
side.
other. So
All right, let's look at
Side
it.
by side. This is a good one.
And this is such a great way to show
Shanahan
how two
flipped like
different
that.
drivers tackle this course. Both in the
through
lead and in the
outside
chase.
zone,
And you can
too,
really
like,
tell
Jack
the difference
was
between
there.
those chases.
Jack
Although
was
once you get
there.
into the
All right.
second half of the second outside zone, it's almost
All right, inside
identical. And then
flip.
those transitions, Jack's got so
Transition.
much more proximity. And then Dimitri times it out a little bit later, but then dives in. So Dimitri gains that proximity
That's
through
close.
that section. But
I
that
think
is
that's close.
that is a nasty set of battles. Look at, both of them talking about it, pumped.
Yeah.
It's good to see.
They both talk a mile a minute, so I don't know how either could get in a word edgewise here.
And then they're both
Take a look
watching
at
it
again.
together.
Look
Look
at
at-
it.
ah, that's so cool.
This is great.
Heck
And
yeah.
what's good about this is they know they're in tomorrow's show, so they're.
Yeah.
Can we get subtitles? Yeah, this is exactly what it is. So I dropped it right here. This is where I
Subtitles
owned
is
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold my pocket. The doorman. I open the door for you, and then yeah. All right. Well,
It's good. It's good. It's going to be really close.
is that all you got? Is that all you got from me, buddy? Good sportsmanship there. Got
like
Connor, his bro, cheering on
Jack?
Jack. And
Yep,
look at
I'm
this,
glad.
Jack
I'm good at
Shanahan
that. Yep.
gets
Yeah.
it done and 2-1. So it looks like Vernon.
good with that.
Congratulations
Jack Shanahan.
to Jack Shanahan. That's got to be a confidence
That's a
booster.
good one.
Driving against a driver who really knows this track. That was fun.
It was really fun.
And like I
completely
said,
okay
I
with
think
that.
this
The big zone.
no
All right, let's
banks.
move
And no
on.
banks.
And no
Rudy
banks. That's
Hansen
why
and
it's
Nick
not just
Novak.
a video game. You're like
Transition, though, yeah.
transition. Yeah, that transition is real. That going past that
broke your
inside
foot.
clip
That's so
one, going
unfortunate.
to outside
You
zone.
talking about the one that blew up when we was there? You talking about the fan that blew up when we was there?
3. I think that's the lead. And Novak chasing him down.
All right, we got Rudy.
So Team Hansen slides into that first outside
This is
zone.
the car
Now
that flipped.
ripping into the second. Novak a little delayed on the
Not a
transition
black one,
in,
damn
but
it.
gets into that pocket. Mimics the angle there. That's what I was talking about, the transition.
Okay, Nick
past
Novak
inside
was
clip.
really good in the chase position.
Nudges it out of the way, shoots it in, and looks like a hand sticking out, but that is a trim piece coming off of his front A-pillar. Unfortunately,
That was a decent
stayed on.
run.
Might have to
That
rip
was a
that
decent
thing
run.
off, but
Yeah.
he'll be
Novak was
chasing
nice, though.
regardless.
Yeah, we're chasing this one. Both drivers, really solid here, making it look smooth. I love the way that Nick is able to, once again, great transition there
Yep.
again. But Nick able to get the proximity, then falls back into the line, then gets the angle lined up. Like, really going for all 3 points in the chase there. Rudy a little bit tight to that inside clip, and then Nick kind of mistimes it. I feel like
Nah, Rudy's
some of it
slowing
too
down,
there,
though.
but
He's
Rudy's third outside zone
he's
looks solid.
going.
One of the best third outside zones we've seen so far. Just able to get in there, settles the car in really quick.
All right, we're doing a little switch
and
up.
pushes through. So
We'll see how
good
Nick
job
Novak
there
does in this lead run.
from Rudy in
But
the
I
lead.
think if Nick Novak
I'm
throws
expecting
down
him
the
to
lead
be
run, he's
real
gonna get it.
hot here.
I think he's
though.
gonna get it.
You think?
Yeah, I think he really wants to push the pace on this and gain a lot of speed and get some separation.
Yeah, having the clean air, this is really good practice for him to get dialed because he is in tomorrow's main event. So as you can see, just rips on in the Kenda tires, grabbing that traction, going to the second outside zone.
That's close.
To just get back
Close.
to that pocket.
Close.
And Novak really maxed
It's gonna
out
be a
the
close
angle
battle.
there.
Might
in
have
this
to see a
last
side-by-side.
outside zone, and
What's
Novak
up?
brings
Nice.
it in.
Still does.
Keeps
Oh,
on
for
so we got nose to nose,
Yeah.
and explodes that front bumper. I think it was a little more dramatic than it actually was. A lot of fiberglass, a lot of shards there.
Yeah.
This is, yeah,
Yeah, it's tough.
unfortunate, but hopefully it's just cosmetic.
I think it might be.
Yeah.
There's, I mean, it looks kind of nasty, but it was right near the end. When you get that front wheel on front wheel contact, though, it's really difficult for both drivers just because the
Completely
steering wheel's going
throws
to get
off
ripped
the
out of your
entire
hand.
geometry.
You know, best case, you don't have
So
any
he
major
feels
damage.
lightheaded.
Worst case, you're into subframe.
You in the crib,
So
messed up,
we'll
brother.
see. Nick Novak giving the thumbs up there, so that's always a good sign. So let's see. Nick Novak out of the gate, nice and quick, gets into that first outside zone. Good speed coming through there. Rudy deciding to cut a little bit of line just to get back into the show, and then starts to fall into place. Nick Novak, good wheel speed throughout that. You know, very consistent all the way. Can see the way the smoke pouring out, just very smooth flow, and then right through there, just a last-second dive.
Jeez,
from
a lot of
Rudy, who's
fiberglass
tight
right
on the inside. Then you get that
Really
front wheel on
destroy
front
those
wheel
fronts.
contact, and that's really what creates a lot of the spin out. Seeing Nick just on throttle
Yep.
throughout, but that front boot, that's what created the issue there. And
It was literally at the
causes
end of the
spin out
track.
on
Oh
the,
my God.
on the end of the run.
Rudy already outside of the car. I don't know. Good. What bring
Nah,
those?
it's
We
going
all
through, like,
report
the track
that they
layout,
spoke-
whatever.
Transition decels after transitions.
Giving it
Nick
to Nick
Novak does get the win here, so
Yep. That makes
advancing
sense to me.
on. Novak, good, clean. I think Hansen was a little too aggressive on the outside zone 3,
Yep.
but
Yep.
you called it.
We're into our one more time here with TLO and Daigo
Oh, they're doing
Saito.
it one more time. Daigo Saito.
Really heads up battle for
TLO.
both of them, getting aggressive, good speed. So we'll see who is able to dial in a little bit more, I guess, precision in this next run.
Warming up those tires in that burnout box.
Going to end up taking it. We know that both these guys can drive.
This is a
really
specific
well.
technique that they
Both in
do,
new
and I want to
cars,
learn
trying
that
to
technique actually.
Get all the nuances dialed
wanna
in.
learn that
so
technique.
if one of them can get the precision part of this, the nitty gritty kind of locked in, that's who's going to take this battle.
Yeah, it's you really got to, like I said, with it being such a flat, unassuming track, you got to be dynamic here. Like I said, the transition, the aggressiveness, the proper line. We saw that, and you know, I just got a text from Renee Burkett, Dan's wife, and she says that unfortunately fuel pressure kept dropping, would have lost the motor. So get it fixed and ready for tomorrow. Don't know if he will dip out of the rest of today.
It would
Don't
be
know.
smart
Right
to
now
dip
we're
out
looking
the
at
rest of
the
the
one more
day.
time of TLO and Daigo Saito. So Dan Burkett intended to go against one of these drivers after a
Daigo
one more
Saito.
time. Both these
Flick,
guys locked and
flick,
loaded.
flick.
And tapping that wall goes Daigo Saito into the second outside zone.
Look at
Tommy
Daigo
Mary
filling his own
checks
foul
up.
zone. He's Tommy Lemire
Not
not
totally
backing
into the
down.
outside
Look at
zone
that.
towards
Ooh,
the
a
latter
little
half.
bit of
You
a
see
tap.
him being more aggressive now.
Oh,
Past
yeah.
transition into that last outside zone goes Daigo.
Ooh.
And Daigo seems to be having some fun, a little more spirited driving. Maybe get more
Yeah,
comfortable
he
as
was-
here
he
we
was
are round
dialed,
4
for real.
with a
Daigo
new
Saito
build
was
and a new
nice.
car.
Yeah, just as aggressive as before, but maybe a little bit more bridled in and less wild. So Daigo Saito, big initiation there, gets into the wall, taps it, puts him a little bit offline, but able to still fill that zone, and then gets through this second outside
Tommy
zone,
Lemire's not really
really
going
lighting
for
the
line
car
as
off,
much. He's going for
pushing pretty hard
proximity.
throughout this whole zone, and then TLO, scrappy in the chase there, just in and out,
Yeah.
trying to find the right
Yeah.
spot. And Daigo really pushing wide through that section and kind of going off track. Thankfully, it looked like it was after the finish line, but throwing up a little bit of dust and dirt into the air as Daigo just throwing caution to the wind throughout that zone.
Nah, for real, yeah. Daigo's been just eating dirt.
All right, we
the
are hearing that
whole
Daigo
event.
debeated, and I don't think there was
Damn.
contact there.
Damn
Yeah,
All right,
it.
so
Come
Daigo
on,
Saito is
Daigo.
unfortunately out. Great driving there.
Damn
We talked
it.
about it, but
Dirt
I believe
dropping,
maybe
debeated,
towards that
now you
last
can't even
portion
go.
of outside zone
Damn.
3, debeated, so under zone power. So TLO will advance
So,
on.
Tommy Lemire
And that is just
gets the win
instituted
on that
because
one,
of,
since
again,
Daigo
debeating.
can't,
A lot
you
of
know.
drivers a few years ago ran really
can't
low
fix
tire
the
pressures.
debeating.
It was just a problem. So we said,
Yeah.
all right, dude, you locks, you can't run. He got God, but he's like, hey, there's no rule. I'm going to try
But
it.
that was a good run.
Here is Daigo. So, boom, right. Is it still on there?
It's all good.
I think it's
through
right here.
And it was kind of after the finish line, he
Brittle?
dips out and
Yeah.
right
Yeah,
there, getting
Benny,
back
yeah.
on track. But really, you have to have that care and control of your vehicle even past the finish line. That's something that came into effect, I think, with Atlanta where drivers were coming up into the last zone, going back up the hill with so much angle and then spinning out.
Oh, it's happened over many years.
Yeah.
We're like, you got to control your car. So
He's
here
going
you go,
through his
Tommy
buy
Lemaire,
run.
the two-faced
Do
Corvette.
not mess this up. You do not have to do any outstanding things. He just needs to complete the track, and he's good. Just complete the track, Tommy. You ain't got to go too wide. You ain't got to do no,
If he doesn't, I mean, this
over
is
the
a
top show angle.
Tommy Lemaire getting to throw down.
Oh, what the-
really,
what the-
figure out a couple more things with that car. Taking it pretty cautious through the last
What was
outside
that?
zone, and I mean, why not, right? Just getting.
So
through
we
the rest of
completely
that
avoided
run.
it.
But
I can't even be
if
mad,
Dan is
like-
not going to be competing, then Tommy's going to get that bye into the finals, and we'll see who he's up against. It's going to be either
What's the
Jack
bracket looking
or
like
Nick.
right now?
But when we come back, we are going to get into that battle. Looks like
said when they come
as
back.
we get
There
into-
we go. So we got the final four right now. We got Dan Burkett, Tommy Lemaire, Jack Shanahan, and Nick Novak. Now, whoever wins between these two battles, they go up against each other, and then that's the winner for the round.
to the
Now we're gonna go ahead and skip past all of these ads.
Love it's TLO.
here.
I think Tommy Lemaire
We're
hold on,
alluding
and
to
Jack
it.
Shanahan.
Yep.
Oh no, Nick
Olympics,
Novak and Jack
Olympic
Shanahan
games now.
going up.
Formula
55%
Yeah, for
doing.
overall
It was arm
win
wrestling back in the
percentage
day,
for
and now
Jack
it's just full-on
Shanahan. That's
grappling.
actually
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
good.
I know you.
That's actually
you
really
teased
good.
it. You expect a outer zone with Tony Angelo.
Yeah.
Speaking of arm wrestling.
Yeah, that we brought that up.
I-
There we go.
I
Oh
would
my
hope
gosh.
so.
I thought
I mean, dude,
okay, good.
you asked me for stories, and there's just too many.
I know.
And some I can't tell. Two, just I'd rather you know, I don't know.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
There's
It
Nick
was
many.
Novak
really
in
Yeah,
the
Tony
lead
moved in.
position.
I told you the one. Tony
Jack
lives with my
Shanahan
wife
in
and
the
I
chase
right
position.
when we got married.
Let's see how this goes.
I've known that dude a long time. Excited. Everybody's got a story, man, and here we are to tell it. Nick Novak, Jack Shanahan. Novak initiating Kenda Tires
Ooh,
BMW.
look at that.
Coming into that first outside zone. Ooh, look at there it is.
Whoa,
Formation.
Jack, dirt drop.
A little too hard. Has to come back. Novak.
Overshot just a little bit, but he's back in it.
Got the clean air. Shanahan
He got
does
back in
bounce
actually
back.
pretty
He
quick,
does
actually.
survive.
Oh,
And he
look at
does
that.
survive
Yeah,
and
no,
thrive
he's
into that
running
last
for it. He
outside
know
zone.
he messed
Novak
up.
and
He's
Shanahan
going for it.
Tucked in.
Yep.
And bringing
That's
it across
good.
the finish line.
Yeah, great recovery from Jack Shanahan. I mean, a lot
Yeah, that was
of
a great
drivers
recovery. That was
might have
fast.
panicked in that
That was
situation 'cause
fast.
I think we'll see it in the replay, but Nick actually looked like he might have gone offline or started to go offline. Great first outside zone, though, from Nick Novak. Man, so much angle from Jack. And now
Yeah.
Nick's on a good line there. Just Jack
Yeah, he kinda
over-rotates a little bit,
yeah.
got a bit aggressive, but gets back into it, doesn't panic, gets right back into the fight, and then
That was a great
from Jack.
transition.
He gets
That
in
was
the
an
pocket,
amazing transition.
Gets the proximity, gets
So,
the
yeah, that
angle.
was pretty
Could have
cool.
been a little bit deeper to get the line perfectly lined up there, but great job from both drivers. Nick with a solid lead run. First outside zone, just phenomenal. That initiation looked really good from Nick. So when we swap this back around, Jack's got a bit of work to do.
Yeah.
But
I
Like
think
I said,
he'll prove himself in the lead run.
This is a
Jack will
confidence
prove
booster here.
himself.
Jack Shanahan out front.
I'm rooting for
He
Jack. I'm
is
not
out
gonna lie.
front, no problem. Clean air. Nick Novak tucks in. Look,
Ooh, Novak's not
this by
backing
both
down,
these
though.
guys. This is
Follow-
a really
Ooh, look at
good
the
battle.
sound of that motor.
Shanahan on that right-hand drive. BMW brings it through the second.
Smoke. Oh my
Does
gosh.
Does knock over cone there. Back in the backdrop into the last outside
Filled that
zone.
zone.
Dancing with
Ooh,
the edge.
yeah. That was nice.
So lots to
Yeah, that was
analyze
nice.
here. Very fast, fluid. Some
We're gonna look at the
dynamic
lead
moments
runs.
from both drivers
I
in the
want to look
lead
at the
and in
lead
the
runs
chase.
because I
And
think
again,
Jack on the
winner here
outside
advancing
zone
against
three was a
TLO.
little bit deeper.
yeah, it may come down to just that one mistake from Jack. I mean, Nick's a little bit shallow for the first outside zone. Second, Nick times it a little bit later and misses a fair bit in the chase there.
Yeah, he missed
So
a lot of that.
does that overshadow the mistake that we saw from Jack, who missed a similar amount of time, but then the rest of Jack's chase was quite solid. Leads
Yeah.
were pretty even between
We need a
both
side-by-side
drivers.
view. I want a
you know,
side-by-side.
The mistake that we saw from Jack seemed a bit more obvious
Give
at
me a
first glance, but
side-by-side.
then getting into the replay, Nick also missed a similar amount of time in the chase through that second outside zone. So balances things out pretty heavily there. Judges already calling for a
Yeah, that was a
side-by-side on
very-
that one.
that was
completely
very-
agree with that because it's
Because that
pretty
mistake that
similar
Jack
for both
Shanahan did,
drivers
they
in the
side
lead
by
and in the
side,
chase
thank
when
you.
it comes to things they did well and things that they had mistakes on. So lead, I mean, first outside
was a
zone,
bit
pretty similar. Jack had slightly
closer
more
in
proximity, and
proximity.
then both drivers making a mistake in the chase although it does look like Nick settles in maybe a little bit sooner than Jack did, but
Yeah.
Jack's lead in the second was quite good. Inside clip, very similar there. And then Jack had a
Jack
bit more
had a
proximity
better-
in
yeah.
that pocket a little bit sooner to the third outside zone. That's tight. I
personally
mean,
think
Felt like Jack was riskier.
yeah,
He was riskier.
Yeah.
generally is
Nick-
though.
yeah, yeah. Jack
I don't
was
know. I think
riskier,
I give
Nick
that
was a
to
little more
Jack mainly
calculated,
because
but
he was a
I
lot
think
more
they-
dialed in the lead run.
Second outside zone.
I mean, not the lead,
Jack,
the chase.
you know,
run.
initiated. He went deep.
He was a lot
then
more
he went
dialed. I
shallow.
mean, that mistake
Nick
was a
kind of
little big,
consistently
but
shallow, but then got
was
in that.
di-
You know,
he got
Jack
back
got into
very
that pocket.
fast. I
So,
don't know.
like I said, plenty of things to analyze there. Jack, how we feeling? You're looking great, buddy. Looking
Majestic.
fantastic.
Very
Double
majestic.
thumbs up. Here's Novak. All right. Let's see this wrestling match. Ding, ding, go. Jack and Nick. Let's see this. Let's see this battle. This is two gargantuans of the sport
Yeah.
getting after it. All right, so this is making the
All
jump
right,
over
let's
here.
see.
Left for Novak, slide him
One
right
more
for
time.
Shanahan. That's a one more time. A
Ooh.
Shanahan and
One more time.
time.
I'm not mad at that.
I
I'm
completely
not mad.
agree with that. I think that's
agree.
very just because it was.
Completely agree.
I don't teal him. Oh,
No, they're gonna
what I'm
run it one
Do you
more
have
time.
any
again.
sort
I
of
don't really
Cobra
let them-
was
Okay, yep, we're running ads. Yep. Go ahead and skip these. Bunch of yapping. I want to see drifting. I want to see cars. I want to see tires. I want to see smoke.
maybe
Z was that gas Strong's on the whole.
Okay, wait.
But that would-
Wait. This
We-
right here is the tree that fell on Jeff Jones. His car, his car was right here, and it fell on him, dude. It was gnarly.
We had to get the forklift out, and Jeff was smiling the whole time. Lagana was down there like, holy, we're all just like, what is happening? It was
Like, look,
insane.
they're like-
You know,
they're cutting up the
enjoy
car,
Lagana
like,
for the
look.
storm. He comes and brings the heat and brings the storm. Three-time champion. You know, Mother Nature was trying to show up, and it did.
yeah, crazy series of events. So
Like,
with
it
that
bent
bend
a
in
lot.
that part of the
It's
tube,
like
they'd
the
have
road
to push the
cage,
cage
chassis
back
in
out. You can
general,
see
like,
just how bad
bent
it was,
a
but-
lot. And they
Yeah,
still got
really,
back out
really
on
cool
track.
to see all the hands on deck to get that car back up and running, and I mean it's inspiring. It's the heart of drifting in a lot of ways. Nobody wants to see anybody go out because of a crazy incident like this. So many different teams getting involved, so many different people just there supporting and figuring out what they need to do.
There's Andy Haley,
Yeah.
and you know the Knapp family, you know who owns the track. They
They're
look,
using
there's
the
Kevin
lift to
Wells.
pull.
He was in his element, dude.
That's
he
pretty
was so
sick.
pumped to be back in there and
They're using the
wrenching
lift
again
to
and
pull up straight
literally wrenching again.
that roof line.
There's Curtis.
We need a bigger wrench.
Yeah. So trying to get everything pried back out and listen, very high tech cars, very low tech
And
ways
dude,
of
the
fixing it.
official race hammers, dude.
Yeah. Curtis, I did not know he was such a good body man.
Wow.
You're a big Curtis fan.
I love Curtis. Curtis and I go way, way back.
He's your spirit
That's
animal.
He
that's
is. I
next
wish I
level.
could live my life
That's
more like
next level.
Curtis.
And they still
Why is
got
that?
out
Yeah,
on
he's
track
just
and
a
still
wild man
competed.
and,
That's amazing.
Doesn't really care.
TLF buy run for him.
So he's just
And we
going
saw
through
him
his
one
buy
more
run.
time.
We're gonna skip this
man.
because this is just a buy run.
Why they called
I want to see battles. All right, look, they're going through it one more time right now.
Told
They're in
us
the
to get
burnout
the
box,
packets
warming up their
and
tires.
one for competition
Now they're
game
lining
day.
up.
Yeah.
So even though he
Nigga
was forced to use
Shanahan.
it,
This is that one more time battle that we
use
just
it or
saw.
lose it. Here we go. Nick Novak, Jack Shanahan. Here they go. McKenna Tires BMW initiates in that first outside zone. Good
slick.
fluidity there and aggressive. Wants to solidify, get the victory here.
Oh, Nick
Shanahan
Novak.
dives
Holy
in.
angle.
A little bit short there on that second outside zone, but now finds himself into the pocket. Past the inside clip, and there goes
Oh,
Novak.
he
right
almost
on the
went
course's
off.
edge.
That
Holds on
he
loosely,
literally
doesn't let
edged
go.
it.
Solid like that.
That was good.
Yeah, Nick Novak, I mean, right out of the gate,
Novak
super
wants
aggressive,
it. He
lighting the
is
tires up
fighting.
really early, flicking
Flick,
that car
look
out,
at that
just
angle.
burying it into that first outside zone, whole time on throttle,
Flick,
good
angle,
transition.
like Nick
and
Novak,
then
what's going
Shanahan
on?
right
What's got
back
into
up.
you?
Does get a little bit overcommitted through the first part of that second outside zone, and then Nick does a great job through the inside clip, looking really
Nick
stable.
Novak.
Jack again with an incredible transition, and Nick running to the edge of the third outside zone, right on
That's
the edge of
good.
the track, all the way through.
That was good. Nick
So
Novak. That was
solid,
a
solid
really
there from Nick
solid
Novak,
lead
and then
run.
Jack Shanahan, really the only spot he's got to work on at this point is getting the transition dialed before into the second outside zone. That's kind of it. That's the last hurdle for him to jump over and really locked down. Once he gets that, though, holy cow, it's going to be a problem.
Unleash the hounds. Here we go. Jack Shanahan, look at that. A lot of handbrake there.
Look at that, yeah,
Bringing
a
in
lot of
that
handbrake.
First outside zone. That allowed Novak to get in there and get that.
Look at that,
dog in
Jack
the
filling
fight.
his own.
Novak and
Jack filling his own.
down.
Nick
And
Novak.
Rosie in there, not
Nick
back.
Novak just
Yes,
there in
sir.
proximity.
And now in that last outside zone, Shanahan, this is, man, guys.
They're so
this is
close.
This
It's
is
so
a great
close.
way,
Oh my gosh.
again, to really spar
I think Nick
before the
Novak
main
has
fight.
the advantage mainly because of
That was
proximity
some
on the
good
chase
driving
run.
on both sides once again. But
Yeah.
there can't be another one more time. We need a winner.
Yeah, very, very similar to what we saw previously. Nick overcommits just a touch to that first outside zone. Jack on a complete heater, though.
You got to
for
see
the
it
second.
side by side. This is
Correct
side by
mistake
side
from
worthy.
the
Oh my
first
gosh,
set
they're
battles.
going
Getting
at
into the
it.
second outside zone in the chase quite well. Really being
They are
stable
going
through
at
that
it.
whole section. And then another good transition from both drivers getting into our third outside zone. So Nick able to clean up the mistakes that he had from the previous run. Jack on another solid heater through the lead and all the way through that run. Only real mistake I saw from Jack's side of things was the in the chase, the second outside zone. Nick does a good job. Might have been a little bit deeper through the first outside coil over.
Yeah, okay, look, they're doing it side by
here.
side.
Nick really,
Novak was
really
just
throwing
there,
things out
especially on
in that
initiation.
initiation. I don't know if this is the case. There is a limit on the amount of
Nick
moves you're
Novak
allowed to
just
do.
followed
I
the
don't
line and
know if
proximity
Nick
better
exceeded
on
that,
outside
but just
zone, too.
Really wild from that first flick. So just something to think about there. But Jack, so much proximity.
Yeah,
in
Nick
the
Novak
chase
had a better
and
line.
He's just able to find the pocket, stay in it the whole time, and really
I
just
think
run
Nick
the doors of
Novak's
anybody who's leading in front of him.
Sitting outside of the car, chilling,
Hanging out again.
grilling. The pro drivers
burnout
get some
box.
time. You know, a lot of them. Yeah, are they having? You know, talking about the beard accoutrements? You know
What
what?
are y'all talking about?
What sort of lullaberry? You're there. Irish wait
That I don't know if
Taking a little
happy.
bit of time
Keith.
back.
Did Nick
What?
Another replay.
and then exactly
Here was off.
left
Go back.
again. That
Jack
would
Shannon.
would
They're giving it to
constitute-
Jack?
One good fluid
I want to hear
movement.
why.
Exactly.
You're right to
They gave
angle,
it to
get to
Jack. I
angle,
wanna hear
get there,
why.
set it on. He will go against
Can I hear
rookies in the
Rookie race, like depending on the difference between taking home rookie of the year or not.
They're not.
And we see that
Okay,
a lot in
whatever.
rookie races.
So we got
You know,
Tommy
it
Lemaire
really
and
does come
Jack
down to
Shanahan.
one
Tommy Lemaire had
solid
that
round,
buy run
being the difference.
the moment.
because Dan
Yeah.
Burkett was out because
Moment like
they
this,
fuel pressure
TLO,
was dropping and he
Shanahan
didn't want to
are
grenade
in
the
our
motor.
seeding
So
bracket
Tommy
finals.
Lemaire
Local
advances
time
home by
just
default.
after
Jack
11 o'clock,
Shanahan just won that
11:18.
battle.
Two
So
people
we're
will
about
have
to get into
prospective
that
by E-Town and
last fight.
Rome from up round here. Perfect.
Filling up.
I'm you.
A little bit of pit work. That's good.
Look at Ball.
And we're running through ads.
A lot
Come
of
on.
international
There we go.
break. 20 are
All right, they're lining up. They're
this
about to
one
go into
really
the
do
burnout
so.
box, I
The
think.
big
Yep.
area.
Yeah, it prospect just keeps leveling
Look
up.
at the technique they're
Every year
using.
it just keeps getting better and better. And this track.
I need to
really
figure out that
lends,
technique because
uh,
they're going,
lends
they're
itself to
breaking,
it.
they're
This is,
spinning. Like it's
we were
weird.
talking
I think
about this yesterday.
that
This is the
technique
only
warms up the
track,
front tires too. Instead of
FD
just
track that
focusing
you can
on
kind of
just
just
the
go out
rears.
and run pretty regularly. Seattle, I think they run the FD layout maybe once a year.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's not like you can go to Road Atlanta and do it. Orlando, you can. I mean, that's the only, really the only other one. So
Yeah, you're talking about we're talking about.
All right, let's go ahead and
you
fast
can
forward.
rip it and
they're
learn
doing
the
events
battle.
here all the time.
Yep.
I mean, Orlando, you can go and run it, but
Lining
they're
up
not
right
running
now.
the
Jack
FD
Shanahan
layout.
You ran
is
it.
the lead driver for
I
Tommy
didn't run
Lemaire.
I didn't run
Vet
the
is
bank,
in
though.
the
I'm not there
chase.
yet.
All right.
Soon, one day.
All right.
I could. I'll try, but I might need
You
a
might
car
ride off the
after.
car.
Might ride off. End of the season.
That's all right. There we go. I love that. I love that you're driving. Here we go. These are our finals here for our pro seating bracket. Shanahan
Ooh,
initiates
Tommy Lemaire is
TLO.
just shallow,
Maybe
the
some
shallow
of those tire
line.
issues, but this, let's just keep it off the wall. Let's keep it
Yeah,
consistent.
Tommy
Again,
Lemaire's just trying to figure it
we're
out.
3 points richer if you get the victory. Again, every
Jack
victory in
Shanahan's
seeding
dialed
brackets is
smoke.
3
He's just
points.
laying it down.
So you want to keep it off the wall. Keep it. So you can
Nice.
main-
That's pretty
have
good.
that main day action. All right.
Tommy Lemaire didn't
Yeah,
look too
good,
well.
good run there from both drivers. I mean,
No, no,
Jack
no.
just throwing down exactly. what he
Yeah,
was Tommy just
way
not able
too
to get
low.
the initiation. exactly timed correctly.
Looks like
Puts
he's
him
trying
on
to
the
figure it
inside
out.
line and then makes him kind of fight for the
Kind
rest
of
of
looking
the
like,
battle
yeah,
to
kind of
figure
getting back
out
into the
where he
line.
needs to be. And
It's
it
a
does
little
take a little
dial,
bit, but by the second
transition.
outside zone, he's able to get in there. Good transition from Tommy Lemaire. Times it out quite well. Very smooth from both drivers.
Looks a lot
but
better coming into
Jack
the
just
outside
on
zone.
rails
So
throughout
the second
entire
half of the
run,
track was,
lays it
you
down,
know,
sets that great,
where he did
great
his
lead
best
run
in the
and lead line.
in the first half.
And now we're
Not
gonna swap
great at
around.
all,
Tommy Lemaire, the
truthfully.
car looks quick. It looks gripped up. If there was any other damage, I'm not aware of it, but it looks a little quicker than it did
All
previously.
right, we're doing a switch up.
Absolutely. Here we
Tommy
go.
Lemaire's
Tommy
in front.
Lemaire in the Corvette initiates.
Ooh, flick.
Bounces his way into that first outside zone. Shanahan tucks in. Gives himself a little bit of room here. Not as aggressive
Look
as
at that.
all
Shanahan
with
taking
him
line.
against no back,
A little
maybe
bit there.
spotter, kind of telling him, all
Proximity.
right, let's lay out cars. Maybe not 100. But now in that last outside zone, there goes Tommy Lemaire into
Okay.
it. And a great placement
Yeah,
by the
Tommy
car. with
Lemaire
that
loves
clean air.
that second half of the track.
And a little applause from his younger
Let's look at
brother.
the side- Let's look at a side by side.
Yeah, solid run there. Got to be tough though when you know you made a couple of mistakes on your previous run against
Yeah.
Jack Shanahan. But Tommy looks like he's able to
Okay.
get things dialed in. Goes nice and deep
Yeah,
in the
lead
first
run
outside
looks
zone.
better.
Gets
A lot
things
better.
settled in the second. Jack playing a bit more of a longer strategy game. His spotter would be telling him, hey, Tommy missed a couple of zones there. You don't have to get crazy, but be in the fight. He's also a good representation of how Jack
Yeah, I
can
think
run.
Jack's gonna get that.
Can run a battle
Jack seemed
with
a
a really
little
good
bit more put
lead and
together.
good angle, but not
Lead
have
and
that
chase,
proximity,
truthfully.
which is more or less what you want to do when you've got that.
And
that
then now they're gonna have
there's
their
a-
decision and they're gonna meet up.
And well, number one seeded driver. So Rad Dan Burkett, congratulations, Dan. Getting that third place
Shout out to
position
Rad
here
Dan.
in
Rad
our
Dan,
pro
in the
spec-
Supra.
Excuse me, pro seeding bracket. Excuse
The
me.
Super got third place.
But Dan Burkett opting out of competition. There's Radical Daniel joining us, and now our winner of our pro seeding brackets.
Jack Shanahan.
And again, 3 points richer for getting the victory here over
Jack
the
Shanahan.
competitor. And our pro seeding brackets
I'm rooting for
unanimously
Jack.
goes to Jack
Shanahan. There we
Jack
go.
Shanahan
We like
gets
that.
the victory.
Shout out to
Shanahan
Jack.
gets the win over TLO. Tommy Lemaire, second place. Brad
Heck
Dan
yeah, we
Burkett
like to see
getting
that.
Third place.
That's
in
good.
Our seeding brackets. Congratulations to him. Let's make it official.
Yes, sir.
And there it is unanimously with Vernon,
Unanimously,
Brian
yeah.
Eggert, and Reese
Good.
Marin. Jacob,
Congratulations
you know,
to
started
Jack
out a little
Shanahan.
treacherous, that outside zone 3. I'm like,
Jack
oh
Shanahan
boy. And then
in
we
that
found out
1
there was
Series
some,
BMW.
you know, oil there, and who it was, TBD. Again, we're playing Clue, but finding out. But your thoughts here on seeding brackets, what we could expect. I know you're laying out. I'm
Hey,
gonna get Matt
that was
Sopa
a
here
good
for
battle.
pro-
That was actually pretty good. Coming from that that horrible weather, because I need to see if I can find the clips. Give me like 2 seconds. Let me see if I can find it, because that stuff was gnarly. Hold on. Adam LZ. Let me see. Reels, because I know he posted it. There we go. Yep, I found it. Like, look.
Oh my God!
Tree just falls on him. Like, insane.
Yo, what the? Oh my God!
Yeah, no, it was bad. Let me see if I can find the video of Jeff Jones. Jeff Jones. Is this a video?
Guys,
It is a video.
out here, FD New Jersey, the car really took a beating. No thanks to this tree. No, it didn't. The Kumho V730s. These tires worked out absolutely great.
Yeah, no, that tree destroyed us. Like, look.
Car, I'm good.
Like,
I was trying to
look.
save my awning while it was going crazy.
Tree
That
just
was a whole other
completely fell on the
adventure.
car. Like, oh my gosh.
Bro, I was right
Yeah?
there. I
Well,
was
I'm glad
right-
you're good.
I
No, I
know.
wasn't.
I was literally right there. I saw it coming down.
They had to get a forklift to lift the tree up.
Yeah, why don't you grab the car, bro?
That's okay.
I'm okay.
That's okay.
So, crazy storm happened over here. Tree literally fell onto the car. I'm gonna bump it up. And yeah, went through the windshield.
Yeah, absolutely gnarly. I'm about to see if I can find the little edit that somebody did. Formula Drift Tornado. Let's just look that up. Like, look at that. 10's just like toppled over. People were fighting. Like, it was horrible. People were fighting for their stuff. Look at that.
Never let go.
Oh my God, Shaq. Like, imagine having to work through a tornado.
The trash can's about to blow. Holy fuck! Holy
Oh
fuck!
my gosh.
The trash can's about to
up. Jeff Jones' car. Like, look at that. Like, stands toppled over. Like, it was gnarly. Yeah, no, it was gnarly. But I'm glad that everyone made it out safe. It was a lot of property damage, a lot of vehicle damage, but people got back out. People got back out there. And I'm glad to see that everyone was okay. And yeah, y'all still threw down at the end of the day. But chat. I appreciate those who stopped in. Appreciate the guys that's still here. But this is the end of the live stream. Now, I ain't even gonna do no outro song. I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't even gonna do no outro song, man. I'm just appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for being here. Appreciate the people that was in the TikTok live. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was good to be back. Good to be back. But yeah, more tomorrow. I don't think we're gonna do the whole stream FD stuff. I think we're gonna like get like certain clips and look at those. But yeah, stay tuned for the next stream. And stay tuned for more TikTok lives. I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna start doing some story time TikTok lives. That's gonna be pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I appreciate y'all staying in here. And yeah, peace out, y'all. Stay safe.